Just press the damn button, nerd.
I'm trying.
Bass Raiders in there. Ron. What's up, Ron? Paul?
Oh, Paul.
Hello, Paul. Hello, Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul. Trinidad, Hooligan Nation.
What's up, fellas?
CPA Joel. Joel, we will get into that, my friend. I think we have a clip about that, buddy.
Yeah, we do.
Ebony. Ty. Frankie Muscata.
Wow, we got the crew in there.
Holy cow. Hey, Ty, I know we say it every episode, but when are you moving to Tennessee, dude?
Let's make it happen.
Get your ass down here, bruh. Wyo Raider.
What's up, Wyo?
B. Al.
All right. Had all that extra time, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to study my notes really good.
Did you?
No. All we were doing was bullshitting.
Yeah, well.
Oh, well, it happens. I don't even know where my buttons are.
Oh, my God.
Jeez.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
All right, here we go. Let's kick off episode number 278 of Raiders Fan Radio.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, L.A., Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Paletnikov, a leaking pass, touchdown!
We miss you. Love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down, Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio, hosted by Murph, Uncle Mosh, and Swag Jeff. Take it away, guys.
You know what I did? I didn't play the intro video. I just played the audio of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
They
you sure
did.
Anyways, thank you, Brett Musburger. Thank you, Brett Musburger, and welcome to...
Well, good thing I didn't pick my nose.
Yeah.
Or
I
anything
know, right?
there.
I was just thinking that. Yeah. And good thing we didn't say anything stupid, because normally our mics are off during the intro, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we...
Dodged a bullet.
You aren't kidding. Hey, and speaking of that, we've got a new intro coming for you guys very, very soon.
Oh, yes.
We've workshopped, as the kids say. We have storyboarded. We have planned our shots.
Are the kids saying all that?
I'm telling you, man, we're going all
Hey,
Spielberg with
Murph
this thing.
knows. Don't question Murph.
I'm
Murph
not
knows what
questioning.
the-
I'm
he
just
knows
asking.
What the
Thank
kids
you.
say.
I'm not in touch with the kids.
I am. There we go. It's only because I got a couple. And they're like, this is what this means, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right.
All right.
Yeah, all right. There we go. So we go off the dome, as the kids say. All right, episode episode number 278 of Raiders Fan Radio coming to you live here on January 4th. We appreciate you very, very much for joining us. Everybody, all of our good friends that are in the chat room. Let's see. We got at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Ebony Graves is in there. Wyoming Raider is in there. Tyrone Graves is in there. Mr. Arch Nemesis is in there. Chris Wood is in there. Hey, that's familiar.
Yes.
Tider Raider is in there. Hooligan Nation is in there. Kill Jadis is in there. What's up, brother? Bam Raider. What's up, Bam?
Hey, Bam.
Bam, president of Music City Raider Nation, where we're going to host a watch party with those good folks here in the fan cave on Saturday, and look forward to that as we beat the shit out of the Chiefs. Raider Craig is in there. Paul is in there. Let's see. JB is in there. Of course, we mentioned Tider Raider. So many of our good friends. We appreciate you very, very much for joining us for this episode of Raiders Fan Radio. All right, to say we've got a lot to get to tonight would be an understatement. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over quick here to the other folks that are rounding out the 3-person booth here in the fan cave. And I'm going to start off with the gentleman that adorns the western annex of the Murph's fan cave desk to my right, and where I always forget to bring his new thing up. But I've got it now. Here we go. My best friend and yours, Swag Jeff.
Styling and profiling.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey.
I like your shirt, bro.
I love that shirt.
I bet you do. Yeah. Those of you on the audio, I'm rocking Michelle tonight.
You got to lean the other way, Jeff. You keep leaning in your butt. There you go. There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if someone wanted to get that or any other said RFR merchandise, please, as the Sultan of Swag, as the kids call you,
Yes.
please let them know where they can find that
Absolutely. So RaidersFanRadio.com/gear. You click the t-shirt link. It will take you straight to our TeePublic page. Much respect to TeePublic. But yeah, you can get all of our stuff, all of our different logos and stuff, except the Christmas one, because I just took that down because it was for a limited time only. But
That's it.
I'm about to drop some merch this week.
Oh, man.
I'm about to drop
What?
some
Are we dropping
swag,
some
dude.
new stuff?
New swag,
wait.
man. And for anything else, just so I can have 4 new things to buy. but there's some badass logos coming.
Is there?
Man. Yeah, it's really cool.
What are we working with? You want to tease it up or what?
No, hell no.
Oh,
No,
all right.
just go to RaidersFanRadio.com/gear or wait about a week and a half when I'm rocking it on one of the next episodes. You know what I mean? So stay tuned for that. There might I'll give you
Come on, give us a little
I'll give
something.
you a little something. If you like Budweiser, you're gonna like this shirt.
Oh, that
Yeah,
one.
you're gonna love
That
it.
one is
I
freaking
cannot
cool, man.
wait for
And
that.
if you like our totally original not busting with the boys shirt,
No,
the
not at
lightning
all.
shirts.
We have
But if you only like one of us in particular, you got as the kids say, you got options.
Yeah, you got
You got options here.
You
You
got
know?
options, yeah.
So stay tuned for that. But yes, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to talk about this game. It may be the most excited I've ever been to talk about a loss.
Probably,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Absolutely. So $20 to the One Nation Foundation. Where all that said, all the money that we get selling the T-shirts, direct donations, all that stuff goes to the One Nation Foundation.
We
So
do not make money on this show.
we do not make money on this show. We realized that we could make money a few years ago, and we decided we wanted to give every bit of that away. So the One Nation Foundation, we started that a couple years ago, and so we're able to present checks to the Bolitnikovs and support different Raider-related charities, stuff like that. So each and every dollar that we get goes to the One Nation Foundation on your behalf. So Stacy Ruffin there with a $20 donation
Hey, thank you,
to the One
Stacey.
Nation Foundation.
And always read what they write whenever they give you
It
sticker.
says this one's for David Carr's retirement from NFL Network Fund. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a 20 for that too.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So we don't do the show alone.
Heck no, we don't.
No, absolutely not. So to my right, at the southern annex of the western annex of the Murph's Fan Cave desk, my best friend and yours, Michelle Swag.
Hey, let's take a look at my shirt. No, wait, this
We're
one.
going to lean the other way. There you go. Oh, the LA Raiders.
baby.
Let's go.
That's right.
That is sick.
Which is the origin of your fandom.
That's right. It sure is.
Absolutely, and that might be a tease to something we're doing here in a few
Yeah.
weeks.
Oh, a little teaser.
I won't
Yeah.
say much. I won't say much, but I'll say a little, and I'll say that is a tease.
It's a tease.
Absolutely. We're
I
gonna
love it.
We're going to do a little bit of a, so we always detach ourselves from the actual Super Bowl because the Raiders are never in it.
That's right.
So we always detach ourselves from the actual Super Bowl, especially like the one year when it was the Chiefs and the Niners. And so we did our Super Bowl protest show and all we did was talk about Star Wars the whole time.
Right.
And so we're going to do another protest show, but we're going to theme it very, very much about the Raiders. And so just stay tuned. And as Michelle said there with her Los Angeles Raiders shirt, as she is adorning there, that is definitely an indicator of where we're going to go with it. So so definitely stay tuned for that. And just for a little housekeeping while we're on it.
Sure.
We're taking off next week.
We are.
We're going to take a break. We're going to have a lot to say tonight. We're going to get 2 weeks worth of show out tonight. I promise you, Raider Nation. So so we're going to take next week off, and then we'll be back, and then we'll probably be off, and then we're going to do a Super Bowl show, and then we'll probably be off again. And so anyways, we're going to kind of bounce around for a little bit.
It's almost off-season time for us.
Yeah, it's almost off-season
It's
time
almost
where we go
off-season
every
time.
other. So unless like some really major thing starts to go down or whatever, which we don't anticipate at this point, frankly, it will. But we would always jump on for a quick show for something like that or do a pre-record thing or something for you. But anyways, for the most part, look for us, not next week, but the week after.
Right.
But as always, here on the YouTubes, youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find us each and every week right here. And you can also find us on the audio podcast, and that is on any audio podcast service. So you got Stitcher, you got iHeartRadio, you got Apple Podcasts, you got Google Podcasts, you got Spotify,
Amazon Music.
You got Pandora. Anywhere that hosts a podcast, you can find us. You can ask your internet connected device. And I won't do that to you and I won't do that to myself because often when we ask it around
It ruins the show.
It ruins the show and it
Shuts
starts
everything down.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, but ask your internet connected device to play Raiders Fan Radio and you can find us that way. And so we appreciate you that join us on the audio and do us a solid. So as Jeff mentioned, all the money we make around here, we give it away.
Right.
And we do make money with advertising. So even if you can't monetarily donate to the foundation or buy merch or any of that stuff, just give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit the bell, do all that stuff the kids say. Just do that to help out the show and amplify it. Tell your Raider friends about us.
Yes.
Because that definitely helps the show. So if you're watching us live here, and we love our live viewers so very much, and we've seen our growth on our channel this year, and we're so incredibly thankful for you, for all that have been here a long time, and all those of you that are new to Raiders Fan Radio. But if you've watched us and listen here, subscribe on the audio podcast still though too. Please just do that favor. Even if you don't listen to it, just subscribe to it, download it.
Yeah, exactly. So when you subscribe, you have the option for the auto download, and that really helps us out with our numbers and stuff, so we can give more money to the One Nation Foundation. I've reached out to a couple different companies this week, actually, we might potentially have some sponsors.
Yeah, the corporate sponsorship.
More of
We're
them coming
gonna
in.
lock one of these down this year.
Well, and if we lock one, we'll lock four.
Amen.
Because that's typically how it goes. If you're in the sales business, if you nail one account, it's a snowball effect,
Absolutely.
man. You start getting a bunch of them. So and all that is because of the support that you guys give each and every single week. Yes, the numbers go up. That means more people wants to be a part of what we got going on. So hey, each and every episode.
Speaking of numbers.
So before I do that, I do want to highlight something because we were talking about the TeePublic stuff.
Yeah.
So Ron in the chat goes, hey, when are you guys going to debut the DA/QBTBD shirt? So if you have the DADC shirt, that one might have to be
What
retired
about the
as well.
QBTB shirt or QBTB12 shirt?
Oof.
I'll take DADS.
I'm going to need an off season to get prepared for that.
Right, yeah.
And it may be DADS.
DATB?
Could be, yeah.
What?
DADS or DAJS.
JS.
Yeah.
We
That one I can handle.
We do number, or no, wait. We do what? I can't even say it's an alpha numerica. So Jeff, give us your number.
Yeah, so we talk about numbers sometimes and shit.
Boy, we just ran into the wall four times.
Holy cow.
My gosh.
Holy cow. We need to just hit contact info here in a
I'm
minute.
telling
So,
you.
hey, so each and every week
Lord
I
have
take a
mercy.
significant moment
I'm
within Raider
sorry,
Nation.
audience. Anybody that's listening to us.
Yeah,
We apologize.
Murph is sorry.
I apologize on
Murph is
Jeff's
sorry.
behalf.
No, not on my behalf. I'm freaking crushing it this episode so far.
I apologize on Michelle's behalf because
It's
she has
Jeff's
to listen to us
humility
idiots.
that really makes him stand out. It really is.
I'm the star of this show so far. Oh my gosh. So each and every week I take a significant moment within Raider Nation related back to the episode number.
Jackass.
And I don't think I did one last week.
You
We
mother.
didn't.
We did.
Nah, well, I think I kind of made up one on the fly.
Yeah, you made
Okay,
one up on
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
so
is true,
and I,
yeah.
and it's not T Hum's fault, but he forgot to send it.
Oh, it is.
You know,
That's
so
his
we're
fault.
gonna make
So
up
we
for
blame
it.
him.
So I'm gonna give you
blew it.
What are you doing? So 277, which was last week.
Yeah.
and it's a good one, and that's why I got to highlight it.
Okay, all right,
So
go
the
ahead.
legendary Willie Brown
Oh, please, yes.
Great.
came to the Raiders 1967. Played with the Raiders for 67 until his retirement in 78. During his career, he had a total of 39 interceptions, which he returned for 277 yards.
That's a good one.
That's a solid one, man.
The legend.
It's really good.
The freaking legend.
Absolutely. So this week, episode 278. So we're going back to 1984.
Okay.
1984.
Oh.
Yeah. So
that's a
just
good
coming
one.
off of our third Lombardi,
Let's
the
go.
Raider defense is one of the best Raider defenses that we've ever had.
Oh, absolutely. Howie Long, Matt Millen. I mean, you
Totally.
could go on down
You
the
could
line.
go on and on and on.
Hayes and Haynes right there. Greatest corner duo in the history
In the
of the
history
NFL.
of the NFL.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So they had the second lowest point total allowed during the season.
Okay.
And this was the second lowest during a 16-game season. They only allowed 278 points all season.
Wow. Interesting.
No,
Good one. Okay, so I'm going to do the quick math because do you have the average points per game then?
I do not.
All right, so let's go 278 divided by 16. That's 17 points a game.
Oh,
yeah.
dang.
You're only allowing 17 points a game, and you got, Marcus Allen on offense.
Right.
Yeah, and
I wonder how
Cliff
many games
Branch and-
Derek would have won.
Oh, hey.
Too soon, maybe.
Dang, Jeff. You come
Was
out
it too
quick.
soon?
Well,
Too late, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
no, they're gonna come for me.
jeez.
They're coming for
my
me.
gosh.
We just lost 4 subscribers.
That's okay. That's all right. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say that.
Hey, so speaking of which,
Wait. No, hold on.
okay,
Hi, no.
we're almost there. Don't worry, we're almost there, Michelle. It's almost.
We knew going into the show.
It's almost AJ Cole corner.
Okay, I want to highlight Tyrone Graves in there with the $2 donation. It says, Happy
Absolutely.
New Year, Raider Nation. Happy New Year to you
yes.
too, Tyrone. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Much
the
respect.
first RFR of 2023. There we go.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go. Absolutely.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and we got a lot to talk about tonight. So let's go ahead and hit the contact info, Swaggo, and let's talk about the Raiders.
Okay, let's do it.
You guys don't talk about the Raiders.
We have the last couple of weeks.
You guys don't
Hey,
listen.
Raider Nation, you got your old Uncle Mosh here with an updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346, or as Murph would say it,
909-345-3346.
How about emailing me? You want to email me? Email me at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes? Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast, the Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio, Insta something, Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio, the tiki-tiki-taki-talk, TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about the Twitch? Some of you out there twitching. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube. America, go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your podcast provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Good.
Oh,
damn.
That couldn't have been any
Holy
better.
cow.
Oh
my gosh.
Gosh, I got chills.
That was like
Wow.
one voice. That was
almost as good as Jarrett Stidham.
Dang, y'all.
Holy cow.
You remember
That was
when,
good.
when
That was
James
good.
Brown would be like, hit me, and they go, bam, and the whole band would do it at one time.
Oh, yeah.
And then they go, hit me 3 times. They go, bam, bam, bam. That's what we just did.
That's what
That's what
did.
we just did.
Oh, my
We're
gosh.
James Brown's band. What the hell?
Oh, my gosh. That was awesome. All right.
Good. That's good.
All right, good stuff there. There's a lot of people that are new to the show going, what the F are these people doing?
They took an edible,
It's-
obviously.
yeah,
before
yeah,
they
yeah.
started.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, okay. So here's
I want to give respect to my wife, who's, if you're in the chat, she's throwing shade at another content creator.
Oh,
and I love that about
I
her.
love
okay,
that
all right.
about her.
Love that about her.
All right. All right. So here's the top of the show. We like to give respect. We don't do props. We don't do shout outs. There's nothing wrong with those
Hell no,
things.
there
But
isn't.
yeah, we're Italian. We like to give a little bit of respect.
Murph, Swaggy J,
Gosh.
Nation, it's time for a little respect. You know, respect ain't bought, it ain't sold, it ain't demanded, it ain't negotiated, it's earned. And without blowing smoke or giving shameless plugs, we want to say salute and much respect to the following folks.
If you're new to the show, you're going, what the is wrong with these people? Oh my gosh. Oh man. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. That's so stupid. This is the stupidest shit that we do. This is the stupidest shit we do. And I want to do a whole show like this. I wanted to do it in.
Not
What-
the stupidest. This is pretty much the greatest. So, like,
Yeah, I guess you're right.
doesn't get any better than this.
No, this is the best. Oh my gosh. We need to do a whole show like this. Seriously. Maybe during the offiest of the off season.
Obvious of the off season.
Yeah, for sure.
So funny.
Yeah.
I can't breathe.
My glasses are so fogged up. Damn.
I had to take
Oh.
mine
gosh.
off. I had to take my
All
glasses.
right.
Hey, so much respect in the chat to I don't know if it is it Firas Tahir
Oh.
in the chat. Yeah, is that how you, I don't know how you pronounce it, but he just gave a thumbs up. It's first time
Oh,
first time in.
thank
yeah,
you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Please
so very,
don't
very much.
unsubscribe after
Yeah.
tuning in and finding us doing that shit.
Yeah. Well, Miss Ebony says that shit cracks me up, so that's
Oh my
good. So,
God.
That's good to
So good.
Yeah. All right. Okay. You guys want to talk about the Raiders, and we're not going to talk about them yet, but I promise we will here in a minute. But all of our goofiness and frivolity and
Totally.
silliness and all that shit aside. First off, here in the respect segment, I want to give respect and all the prayers in the world, of course, to Damar Hamlin and the Hamlin family. And, this, I don't even know where to go. I mean, I'll just say that the entirety of the football world is with this young man. The entirety of the football world, you've heard all the different points of discussion and all that. I would just say this, that like, I think when we all get into the conversations that we have had around the whole Derek thing and even the Carr family and all that kind of stuff, a moment like this, like it resets my brain and it makes me realize what's truly important. And when you're sitting there on the couch and you're watching Monday Night Football and you witness what you think may be a young man, a 24-year-old guy, lose his life on the field, and you see Josh Allen's tears, you see, all the coaches and the prayer circles, and all, you see those kinds of reactions, and it just resets my brain and makes me realize that like this shit doesn't matter. And we can have all the venom and all this stuff that happens on social media, and we can disagree with each other. None of that freaking matters. What matters most is your family, obviously your well-being and your health, all those things. And it sounds dopey and cliche, but
But
this
it's
just,
not, though.
but it
It's
just
not.
really it was just like a freaking smack in the face compared going from what we had already gone through from our communications to then collectively. Doesn't matter what team you root for, doesn't matter what players you root for. The collective of not only the NFL but football families pulling together and having their heart go out to this young man and what he went through, and it just, I don't know. I mean, thank goodness we've got great reports today that he's healing and my girl Valerie, you hear me mention her all the time. She's a registered nurse and a medical professional, and talked a lot about what happened on the field and what we saw. And it's literally the most minute chances of something like this happening, that there's the way that your heart beats. There's one millisecond in there where when it takes an impact, it can stop it. And so like, that's what happened. Like we saw a completely freak thing happen. And so anyways, I don't even know where I have so many thoughts and emotions, as I'm sure so many people do. So I'm just going to stop talking, and I want to hear from you all, because I could ramble about this all night, because it's just, I don't know. It hits you in such a I don't know, human level. It's just, I don't know. Swag.
Yeah.
Go up, please.
Yeah. You know, I agree with that. You know, it really, I mean, you see everyone come together. Yes, you got, you know, the rivalries don't matter at that point. Right. The game doesn't matter at that point. And kudos to the NFL for just being like, no, we're not going to play it.
F Skip Bayless
and
dude,
all the way.
Forever.
Sure.
Yeah. And he is, and you know, if you still watch Undisputed, I don't know why you would, but
Shannon Sharp ain't even going to watch it anymore.
Well, he came back today. So Shannon Sharp came back today, and Skip is still acting like an ass, man. Just like kind of standing behind his tweet.
Yeah.
Like everyone just took it the wrong way. Did everyone take it the wrong way, or
you
maybe
just
you're just an
asshole.
insensitive ass?
Yeah.
You know, seriously.
Almost got me cussing.
Seriously, but you know, but it's so great to see, because and I know social media like isn't a big deal, but like to see all these people unify on social media, like the Raiders Twitter picture right now is a pray for tomorrow. You know, all that stuff. And not even just the NFL, like NBA has done that, and MLB, like NHL, like all these teams of sports have come together to like pray for this guy. And Darren Orlovsky?
Dude, that was strong.
Strong, man. Like you don't
openly praying on ESPN, man.
You just don't see that.
Yeah.
And
especially on ESPN.
Especially on ESPN. And as a Christian man like myself and like you guys as well, like it almost brought me to tears. Yeah. Like, and you know, I didn't watch it live, but like I saw it on Twitter, and it happened, and like immediately my heart was just like, I bowed my head and I prayed with him. Like, holy cow, like this is, you know, I mean, kudos to everyone that has come together to support this guy, and you know, and our thoughts and prayers are with him for sure.
Yeah. I think it's like, it was a really good reset for a lot of people, I think, because you get so caught up in the game. And I mean, I'm watching the game thinking, we should be playing, you know, like we should be playing at this level, you know, like I'm thinking, and then bam, that happens. And Lamont and I were watching, and I immediately, like, you could tell that this was way different than anything that we'd ever seen, you know, on TV. So I turned to Lamont, and I'm like, God, what is happening? Because they just kept going to commercial break, and they just kept going. And it really almost immediately just completely reset you to go, oh, okay, this should be a game. It should be fun. This is so heavy. And it really kind of brings you back to almost reality, you know, that it's just a game, and it shouldn't be, you know, we shouldn't be fighting on Twitter and, you know, cussing each other out, you know, like it should be fun, and it should be a game. And it really was a reset. And I immediately started praying that he would get up, because that's usually what you see. You know, you see the thumbs up, you know, going out the on the card or whatever, and it just kept progressively getting more heavy. And I just thought, oh God, I don't know how this is going to play out. And it really was just a heavy moment, but it really set so many things into perspective, and almost like reset my mental, you know, as far as what's important and what isn't. You know, I thought about that mom, like she's in the stands.
She was
watching.
in the stands.
Speak on that, because so Valerie has a son almost the same age. And you have sons that are Devin's 19.
Devin's 19, and Libby, my daughter, she's 26. You know, Darius is 28. So
so
being
speak on
a
that.
mom in the stands, and you see that, and she's been in football a long time. She knows the level of extreme that something is, you know, and so, you know, she's probably frantic trying to get, you know, to her kid, her baby, you know, like, oh, that broke me on the sofa. I just thought, what she must be going through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jamie Erdahl on Good Morning Football spoke on that, and I was so glad to hear you speak on that as well. Thank you for that. And it just, you know, and we're all parents, and so many of us in the chat room are, you are as well. And, you know, like, it's just devastating. And so I think that there are, sadly, sometimes in a devastating event, there are good that comes from it. And not only the unity, which we have seen in the majority of the football community and outside of it, like Jeff said, one of my favorite, I can say favorite things, I think one of the most inspiring things, I'll say that, one of the most inspiring things that has come out of this is that Damar Hamlin has a foundation called Chasing M's, and he did a toy drive on GoFundMe, and their original goal was $2,500. Okay. When this unfortunate incident happened, the money started flowing in, and I checked it right before we went to air. It's at $6.63 million.
Wow.
Like,
wow.
Major respect to everybody.
Yes.
And we see like the Raiders have given money. Devante gave money individually. Like we've seen a lot of
McDaniels, he gave
Josh,
money
okay,
individually.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So like you see all these people coming to the aid of this young man. And because like, and this is something else too. And like, and I don't want to totally get on the weeds on this, but I think it's worth noting. This guy's on a rookie contract. He don't make a lot of money. I know he's an NFL athlete, but here's the bottom line, Raider Nation. They get half their money taken out in taxes. He's probably making $400,000 a year, and he's going to make that for a few years. And then his career, he's either going to re-up and get a big contract, or he's not. But for the majority of the NFL players, that's all they get. And then that's it, the end. And then you're off into the rest of the world. So it may seem like they're getting a lot of money or getting paid a lot of money, but they're really not. You got to be Tom Brady, Derek Carr, Devante. You got to be a high level player. We've heard that from our buddy Will talk about that. There's a difference between Will Compton wealth and Taylor Lewan wealth.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
not like try to compare, but it's like you got to understand there's two different things going on there financially.
Right.
When you're a veteran minimum guy and you're a guy that makes $10 million a year, it's a completely different story.
Yeah.
So Damar Hamlin is on the lower end of earning in the NFL. So the NFL does not have a real solid disability policy for these guys. If he took his last snap, unfortunately, in the NFL, and now is going to have potentially a lifelong challenge with medical bills and those kinds of things, like the NFL is going to take care of him. So here's why I do say, you all giving your money to his foundation and raising that money, it's gone beyond a toy drive. This is going to help take care of this young man as he battles back to health.
Yeah.
That's right.
And to find a quality of life, whatever that quality of life looks like for him. And he might make a full recovery.
Yeah.
It's one of the things Valerie was saying. Like, at first we thought it was like a spinal thing.
Yeah.
And that's super scary because if that stops you breathing, anything hits in the neck, stops you breathing, and things end. When it's your heart, it can heal itself. And so hopefully he'll make a full recovery here. But so
And if not, you got to think that maybe the NFL doesn't have something like that. But the
His
Buffalo
team
Bills,
is for
the Buffalo
sure
Bills
gonna step
are
up.
going to take care of
somebody
their
ought to,
guy.
man.
Someone's going to
got
take care of their
Somebody's
guy.
got to.
And if anything else, so I've seen tons of people talk on this and this young man. One of the people that had some of the kindest things is Mike Tomlin. So Damar he's a Pittsburgh guy.
Oh, that's right.
And so
Oh,
he said,
yeah.
So Mike Tomlin said he's known the kid since he was like 12 years old. So I mean, he watched watched this kid grow up and has done
I didn't know that.
camps with him and
Called him
all
a
kinds of
Pittsburgher.
stuff. Yeah, I called him a Pittsburgher.
Yeah.
And so like I mean,
nice.
just talked about just the great heart that this young man has and just the all this kind of stuff and just what a kind man he is and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, tons of people had nothing but respect and kind words for this guy and again, our thoughts and prayers go to him.
Absolutely. Final thoughts, Michelle, before we talk about the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys said it all. Like, just keeping things in perspective and just, lifting him up in prayer, I think and just sending positive vibes to his family because, they're sitting there in the hospital, hours passing, waiting for updates, so they need all of the positive energy and prayers that they can get. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is Raiders Fan Radio. I'm Brent Musburger, and I don't care who wins as long as it's the Raiders.
Hey, Raider Nation, I just want to say hello. This is Pastor Mondo of NationMinistry.net. You're listening to Raider Fan Radio with Uncle Mosh and my brother, Murph. Just win, baby.
All right, Michelle, I guess we should jump back into the goof fest that Raiders Fan Radio can certainly be. And hey, let's talk about the news because, Michelle, I don't know if you heard, but some new shit has come to light.
What's come to light?
Man, I've got certain information, all right? Certain things have come to light, and, given the nature of all this new shit, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple,
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm blathering about. I've got information, man. New shit has come to light.
All right, so new shit has come to light. We talked about it last week about Derek Carr's benching, but now it's flat out over. The relationship is over. We're going through an ugly divorce, I think, at this point. I think we're on the tail end of the ugly divorce because, all the family is now, lashing out and getting
the family's made it ugly.
They have, which is usually how it goes. I mean, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, it's certainly
the
got
mouthpieces, because the person who's going through the divorce appreciates all of the mouthpieces that speak for that person.
Amen.
That's in divorce. I'm not speaking of what we're talking about.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. but certainly there are a lot of mouthpieces going off for our former quarterback. And I'm gonna let's see. I don't want to get into it now. I'll just say this, and then we're gonna get into some of the ramifications of what's gone on. We've said on this show, if you're familiar with Raiders Fan Radio, if you've been listening for any time, you've heard us say numerous times, Derek Carr is our favorite quarterback because he's a starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, and we will be the biggest fans of Derek Carr until he's not.
Right.
And as of today, he's not. Now, we can all sit around and Twitter post or Facebook or go back and forth around how you felt it went down. Some people felt it went down fine because it's a business. Some people felt that it went down, ugly because of everything that Derek Carr gave to the organization and like all that kind of stuff. But here's what I'll say, and this is undisputable. Regardless of how you feel about how things were handled or why they happened the way that they did, Derek Carr is no longer the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. So frankly, I could give a shit about Derek Carr from now on. And that's not an indictment of him as a person. He's a great dude. He's a great husband. He's a great Christian. He's going to build churches when he retires. Like, he's going to do wonderful things. This is not an indictment on him and his personality. But he's not a Raider, so I don't care.
Yeah, he's irrelevant.
So I don't care. I don't care what David Carr has to say. I don't care what anybody else has to say about it. It's not interesting to me anymore because he's not a Raider. Now, You may disagree with that, and you may fan your fandom differently. And if you fan your fandom differently, that's fine. But we aren't going to agree because I want to talk about the Raiders that are, not the Raiders that aren't. And as of today, Derek is part of the Raiders that aren't. He's the was. So we're not talking about him anymore. Right. I'm not. We'll talk about him and his significance to the Raiders. But in terms of going forward, I don't care. I don't care what he does in 2024 or 5 or any other shit. I don't care whatever. I care where he plays if he's on a team that's playing against the Raiders. Yeah. But whatever. I'm not interested in the guy anymore.
Yeah, well, you know what? And you talk, and yes, he's a great Christian and a great man and a great dad and a great husband and all that stuff. But, a little bit of his personality was kind of affected. Since I can remember, he's always said, I'm going to be a Raider. I will be a Raider no matter what. And in an interview in 2018, he said that I will be a Raider. And unless I retire or the team decides that I don't want to, or that they don't want me to play for them anymore, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be a Raider. I'm going to root for one team for the rest of my life. Every time I watch a game on TV, it's always going to be Raiders. Nothing but Raiders for the rest of my life. And damn it, David Carr has informed all of us that Derek's best football is ahead of him, which I don't know what the best version of his football is. But so now I feel duped. I feel like a schmuck because I bought into that shit. You know what I mean? Derek was my favorite quarterback for a long time. And now he's not. And now it's like one of those things where, you break up, but then you find out that they did a bunch of shit that you didn't know about. Like, bro, seriously, you're going to back out on your word now? Like, you're losing all credibility. And whatever love that people have had for you, whatever, it should be gone. Yes, I'm thankful for the 9 years that you gave to this team. I'm thankful for individual records that you hold. That's great and fine and wonderful. You know, I wish you held record or, you know, win records, but you don't. You know, you made it to 1 playoffs, 2, you know, I mean, if you count the one where he broke his leg. But, like, you know, besides individual stats, you know, what'd you do?
So I want to, I'm sorry, and I want to throw it to you, but I want to address something. So, like, and here's some of the points coming off in the chat room, and there's some people disagree with it, and great. We're not,
that's fine.
We don't do this show because we want to have an echo chamber and have everybody agree with us. But for those of you like Road Code in there says, well, yeah, until McDaniels effed him. Look, did he though? Like, the NFL is the ultimate meritocracy. You get paid for what you're going to do, not what you've done in the past. If they don't think that you're going to lead them to W's, then you don't get to play anymore. He's not the first starting quarterback that's ever got put on the bench. He is one of the first starting quarterbacks of 9 years that went to the house after he did.
Right.
So, like, listen, man, I think those of you that view Derek as a sympathetic figure, I think you're missing a lot of the point. There's a 9-year track record and $140 million in generational wealth that this man got paid. Do you really feel sorry for him? Like, and if you do and you felt like it wasn't handled the best, and there are good friends of ours like QB Jeff that thinks he got done dirty, then that's fair. That's a fair opinion to have. But when you look at what the Raiders had to account for Derek salary-wise, it would have been absolute disaster and financial suicide for them to keep him on the roster. It just didn't make any sense. This was a business move. This has nothing to do with personality. This has nothing to do with loyalty. It's not what this thing is about. This thing is about dollars and cents and performance and value on the field. The end.
Yeah, I think that honestly, it's odd that he wasn't benched sooner. Like, it just feels like
this is the first coaching staff to hold him accountable.
Right, yeah, because he has been through many organizations and many coaches and many, you know, he's been through a lot of things, but also he was cashing those checks. You know, so if he felt like he wasn't in a stable position, if he felt like he wasn't in a place where he could thrive, then why wasn't he more vocal about being moved? Like, but so I will say, I don't necessarily care what happens to him, but I'd like to see him go and do, you know, be an acceptable quarterback somewhere. But the more that this plays out, the less I want to see that, because it's like,
great, you know, absolutely, well
like,
put.
Him saying, you know, he wants to be a Raider for life. Like, I feel like that's like just shit you say because you want Raider Nation to be like, yeah, he's never going to leave us, you know. But I think a lot of that was just lip service because he wanted to gain these people, you know, to kind of like feel where he's coming from. And I don't know, it just feels weird. Like, yeah, maybe he was done wrong, maybe he wasn't. We don't really know what happened in those meetings. But I know one thing, I don't know that I've ever seen a quarterback get benched and not be on the sidelines for his guys. Like, that just felt so weird to like see that. I think Mariota someone said something about him like walking. I don't know exactly what happened with him because I don't really keep up, but it just seemed weird to say. It almost feels like he was like, I'm not coming back unless I get to play. And that's like a bitch move. Like, that's a weird thing. Be out there for Stidham could have used you maybe. Like, you could have helped him. Like, get your fucking get your headset on and be a man. And, you know,
Stidham did that to him all year long.
All year.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, that's just crazy. And, you know, the people, and I'll get back to you in a minute.
All right.
But
you going to let me finish, Kanye?
Yeah, I'm going to let you finish.
Thanks, Kanye.
I'm going to let you finish. But, you know, it blows my mind that, you know, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion. And, you know, and if you think Derek was done wrong, that's fine. But let me say this, like, I don't understand the people that say, well, Derek, he should have got the proper send-off. He should have got the proper send-off because, you know, he was with the team for 9 years and he put up with a lot of whatever. But, like, when you're not performing well in any job, but especially in the NFL, like, they don't give you a swan song at the end.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, unless your name is Peyton Manning or Charles Woodson 2.0, like, you don't get that. If you don't play well, you're done, bro.
Yeah.
You're just flat out done. Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls for the New England Patriots, and they just said bye. He didn't get to have his whatever moment while he was playing. You know, all these other people, I mean, keep it Raiders. The Raiders sent Marcus Allen to the Chiefs. Stabler was traded. All the Tim Brown.
Stabler, Casper, and Jack Tatum, all three were traded to the Houston freaking Oilers. Yeah. And for those of you and there's been a lot of talk too about this whole Mark Davis did him this, but do you all not know what Al Davis was like? Is this are we really acting that brand new that we don't know that Al Davis was the most
loyal
ruthless
to the Raiders?
Thank you.
Period.
He's loyal to the Shield. He's the most ruthless son of a bitch that ever existed in the NFL. He did not care about your feelings. He got on a phone call with Phil Villapiano and asked Phil what he thought of Bob Chandler, and Phil gave him a rave review on Bob Chandler, and Al said, "Great, glad to hear that because I just traded you for him." You know what I mean? This whole idea of we gotta honor him and we gotta. No, we don't.
You can honor him personally.
Thank
honor
you.
him yourself. Wear his jersey, rep him, shout him out on Twitter. I don't think he's on there anymore, but you can represent him in any way that you feel, but you can't hold the organization to a standard that you would hold yourself to. You can't. They're about their money and they're about freaking wins. That's what they want. They weren't getting that, so your boy got benched, and it feels like, I don't know, wasn't in the meeting, but it feels like he said, well, then I don't want to be here. I'm going home. That's what it looks like. Yep. I know a lot of people are saying he was sent home. You don't know either.
None of us do that.
None of us
know. In the collective bargaining agreement, in the current CBA, you cannot ban a player from the facility. If Derek wanted to be in the building, he freaking could be.
Yeah.
And listen, and I'll say this one more thing about this point, y'all, because this is what it all comes down to. No one is bigger than the Shield. Not Derek Carr or anybody else. There's been a lot of famous 32s. There's been one super famous 25. That number is not retired. None of the numbers are retired because Al said no one is bigger than the Shield. Everybody can wear your number because it's about the Raiders. It's about the collective. And you know what? And the Raiders are one of the beautiful things the Raiders do as an organization is honor those that played in the past and the legacy and the mystique and everything that is built prior to current day. Derek Carr will be honored one day. Just like people used to say, oh my gosh, Brett Favre will never go back to Lambeau until he did. And the Packers honored him. After he became a Viking and beat their ass, the Packers still chose to honor Brett Favre and the legacy that he left as a Packer.
Right.
Derek Carr will get his due in terms of being honored for his time with the Raiders. But that time's not now.
No, he'll light the Al Davis torch and he'll light the Al Davis torch in 5 to 10 years whenever he's done playing. But now,
if his brother doesn't shut the hell up, and
I'm telling you, and I've said this about a ton of people, man. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I hate to say it, but now Derek Carr isn't the starting quarterback and he wants to go play somewhere else. So now you're the villain.
Yeah.
And for people that are still 100% on Carr, then
follow him.
Then just follow him. Just go.
Yeah.
Just go.
And
because
you know
you were never a
Which
Raider
is
fan.
fine.
Inside the Shield is just the pirate guy. It's not a freaking picture of Derek Carr, okay? Root for the Shield, not the man, bro. Oh. Come on, man.
No, you can't. We should have learned that a long time ago.
No
When
shit.
your favorite players get, I know people lost their minds when Khalil Mack got traded or got sent off. You cannot get comfortable with a player because it's not almost never.
And according to David Carr,
y'all got 9 years with this guy.
Yeah.
You should be celebrating that you got 9 damn
Case
years.
Stabler didn't get 9 years.
No. Who gets 9 years now?
No one.
No one. Do you think Al Davis would have given Derek Carr
Hell
9 years?
no.
Hell no.
He wouldn't have got that second
and he would have
contract.
embarrassed him publicly. No, he would not.
Absolutely.
Have
Well, and
given
according
him
to
9
David
years.
Carr, Derek Carr was attached to a player too. Apparently, he was so upset that the Raiders traded Khalil Mack and so upset that they traded Amari Cooper. According to David, okay, really?
Well,
then say something.
That's
bro.
what I'm. That's
then
where I'm.
speak up. Be
That's
a man.
what I'm
Don't
screaming.
let your freaking brother.
Yeah.
Don't let your brother speak on your behalf, man. I will never let my brother speak on my behalf. I love my brother, but keep my name out of your mouth when it comes about my
what
business,
happened
bro.
to slow to speak and slow to anger? What happened to that? What's that James 1, I don't know, 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there? You're just out here because you're hurt. Your feelings got hurt because your brother got hurt. Now you're out here of course, I don't know if he's done this. I haven't listened. I don't know if he did the Harvester Sport thing. I don't know. But like whatever he says on there, like, dude, don't let your brother speak for himself when he's ready. But obviously, I mean, they talk, so Derek knows what he's doing.
Oh, he's a mouthpiece for Derek.
You know,
100%.
which also is like, well, that's kind of a bitch move. Like, if you have something to say it. And it doesn't, you can say it right now. I mean, it's not like, because, I mean, if I'm assuming it's not going to be like some sort of horribly harsh thing, like, say it. All other players that get moved on, and he's not moved yet, but they speak their piece. Like, say it when it's time. You do it, though. Like, don't let your brother do it. This isn't the playground in fourth grade.
Absolutely.
You know?
And
like, say it.
And I get David sticking up
Sure,
for his little
I
brother.
get
I
that.
get that.
Absolutely.
And 100%. And we would all, even though you won't want your brother speaking on your behalf, you would also stick up for him if someone went at him and or felt that he was done wrong in a way. And so
But I would never speak on his behalf.
That's exactly what,
Well, and Mojo said he's got a right to, oh, no, I'm sorry. He said, to be fair, he'd be insane to talk right now because he wants a team. And that's true. So don't. So nobody
then
talk.
just don't.
So nobody
talk. Because, you know, and they should, I mean, you should, everyone should know this. When you're in the freaking heat of your irritation and your frustration and your anger, don't say anything. Sit on it. Like, let it digest it. You know, do all the things that a therapist would say. And then speak your piece when you've given it a chance to really sort of settle in your brain. Not right now. He hasn't even got another team yet. Let him get another team and then let him speak.
Right.
Absolutely.
Then let him speak.
And I'll say this, you know, all this being said, I love Derek. You know,
I love him less today.
Yes. Well, I do. I love him.
I love him less than I did last week. You know,
but I'm thankful for the time that we had with him. And, you know, for anyone just thinking that we're out there just straight up shitting on Derek Carr for no reason, which I don't know why you would, because there's been 9 years of reasons to do that, minus a season and a half, you know. But, you know, it's time to move on. It was time, and it's been time. And, you know, and it's just crazy to me that it's been time for a long time. And I feel like everyone kind of agreed with that. But then when it happened, it was like, oh, what? What? You did him so wrong. Well, he did us wrong too. Damn it! Just win, baby. We should have won. You know, all the pieces were set up. We should have won, and especially this damn year. You got your best bro here, man, and we're gonna talk about him in just a second.
Yeah.
You know, but like, you got your dude, man. You got all your pieces, and yes, some of them were hurt, but you still have other good pieces. You know, Mac Hollins is no slouch, man. I've seen that dude make amazing catches. I've seen Foster Moreau be one of the best tight ends in all of football. And if you can't hit him when it's time to hit him, then what are you doing, dude? But like, you got your bro, man, and he has. I think he set a record this year of the most incompletions to one wide receiver.
Correct.
Like in NFL history.
Yeah.
You know, so he's hit Devante a lot, but he missed him even more. Like, Devante Adams should probably have about 3,000 yards receiving this year. and just like totally misses him. So thank you, Derek Carr, but thank you next.
All right. So I'll end it on this, then we're going to jump into some comments from Devante Adams. I would say this to you, Raider Nation. For those of you that are ride or die for Derek, I respect it. I respect your loyalty to the player. I'm interested on why one player would override your fandom for the entirety of the team. That's very curious to me. But I would say this to you. At what point then would it have to get to for you to hold him accountable and responsible, and at what the Carrs are doing right now, which is dodging fault? At what point would that have to get to? Year 13? Year 14? Like, what is it? You know, I've said on this show numerous times, again, this is not a Derek Carr bash session. I loved Derek Carr as our Raider quarterback. I would have loved him more if he would have had some wins. But I've said on this show numerous times, if Derek Carr won us a championship, he'd be the greatest quarterback in the entire history of the Raiders.
Yeah.
He'd be better than Kenny Stabler because he would hold the passing records. He would be better than Jim Plunkett because he would have come in clutch to win a championship. He would have been better than Darryl LaMonica because he would have that championship. But he's not, and that's not what he did. And he's not even, to me, I don't even know if he's Rich Gannon. I mean, he's got the numbers, but he doesn't have the results. And so I would ask you, Raider Nation, for those of you that are that ride or die for him, at what point would you? What would it have gotten to for you to then finally say, okay, he's not the guy, he's at fault, at least a little bit, just accept some form of blame. What would it take? Because the mountain of evidence says otherwise. And I think that we were apologists for Derek.
Yeah, we were.
For a long time.
Oh, for sure.
I think we were. I think we took his back for a long time. And I don't think there's anything wrong with change. And Derek's going to be fine. Listen, I won't get into the money and all that stuff. Just know this, man. He's going to be fine. The team's moving in a different direction. And there's nothing wrong with that. And things don't end unless they're bad. Things that are going great don't end. Right? Peyton Manning rides off into the sunset. Dan Marino rides off in the sunset. Like whatever. But there's a reason for it, and I would encourage you to consider the reasons, consider the financial ramifications, the lack of performance, and the things that were holding the team back in many more areas than just quarterback. Okay. All that said, one of the things also that has come out of this is that there's been a narrative from fans and even some media, which is shocking to me, that some players would want to move on because Derek isn't around anymore. Now, we're going to get into a segment later on in the show. We're going to do a little more fundamentals, and I'll break down the mechanics of it and the financials about why it would never happen. But the idea that like some players would want out because their guy's gone. Frankly, listen, what I've said on the show a million times. It's not show friends, it's show business.
Yeah.
This is their damn job. There's not buddy ball involved in here. Is Derek one of the reasons Devante ended up in Las Vegas? 100%. Is he a contributing factor? 100%. Is he going to leave because his buddy's not there? No. And for anybody that's saying that, it's a ridiculous sentiment. Yeah. And it's one thing for me to say it on a dopey podcast in my bonus room with my two best friends, but let's listen to Devante Adams tell you the exact same thing.
Devante, you came here, you took less money. You could have got more from Green Bay. This is a team you grew up loving. I know this team in the offseason will make decisions that you don't have a say in. But if they get you a quarterback that you know can get you a ball, do you want to come back and be a Raider again next year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I came here, I wouldn't have been here or ended up here originally probably, if Derek wasn't here. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I won't be here, in the event that he's not here. That's my boy. Obviously, I got his back through anything. I think I've made that more than clear at this point, and I support him and support everything that he has, moving forward as well. But, my dream was to play for this team before he was a Raider, obviously. And at this point, I want to, obviously try to make this thing work and continue on doing what I'm doing here and, myself get better and obviously see the team grow and get better as well.
All right, there you go.
Case closed.
Period.
The end.
Case closed, man. And it's so freaking bananas to me that that's even a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. If it was just like if you guys were working at a gas station or whatever, and one, you brought your buddy in, and then one gets fired. Yeah, the other one might quit. Devante Adams is making $140 million.
With 65 guaranteed.
With 65 guaranteed on the team that he grew up rooting for.
Right.
It was a dream for him to be a Raider. And yeah, the added bonus was that his best friend was going to be throwing the ball to him. Mm-hmm. But guess what? During the offseason, he'll probably still go work out with Derek. And that's great and fine and wonderful. You've been doing that your whole career, so now you get to go do it again. You're not going to be on the same team. You can still be buddies. But Devante Adams is no freaking dummy.
Yeah.
He got paid. And he got paid from his dream team.
Yeah, I mean, he's a professional football player. He's not going to just say, okay, well, I don't want to be here anymore because my best friend's not here. When he made the decision to be a Raider, he probably went through all the things that could possibly happen. I mean, because obviously Derek could have gone or could stay there. He thought about all those things before he came. I mean, he's not an idiot. He thought about his money. He thought about his childhood team. That's the dream. Yeah, playing with your friend, that's a bonus. That's the cherry on top. But playing for your team, your childhood team, that's the goal. And to get freaking paid to do that, that's the even bigger goal. So, I mean, he's a professional. He's going to make those smart decisions. He's not a dumb guy.
Amen. So say he went, and technically, could he have made more money with Green Bay? Okay, technically he could have. Say it's $5 million, okay? when you're already getting
Right.
$65 million guaranteed,
That's splitting hairs.
and you're getting to go play with your best friend,
Right.
and oh, by the way, Nevada is a tax-free state.
That was exactly what I was going
Hello?
to say.
Like, come on, man. Like,
man.
y'all don't be so damn blind
Yeah.
that, like, it's this, look, these decisions. I always say this too. When you want to get to the answer of the question in the NFL and, frankly, politics and a lot of other things, find me the money.
Yeah, follow the money.
Get me to the end of the money,
Yep.
and there's your decision.
Yep.
Okay. It's not show friends, it's show business.
That's right.
And look, there was would I love to go work directly every day with Swag Jeff? And would I love to go work every day with Michelle? Of course I would.
Yeah.
I would love to go do that. But you know what? If I can make $45 million more over here doing it. Later, hope y'all have fun.
Yeah, bye.
I'll see you after
We'll
work.
get together on
we'll be,
Wednesdays.
you know what I'm
See you after
saying? Like, I'm sorry, man.
Well,
Like,
so, Rogue Code in the chat says, you only quit if your friend was your ride to work. Truth. I think Devante's got his own ride there. homie. Yeah.
there you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. So good stuff there. So anyways, all right, Raider Net, we can't read the chat. It's tough to
So
anyways.
fast. Yeah, they are really.
It's
they're
blowing
they're
up.
all over the
killing
place.
us. They're probably.
Yeah, probably.
About 80% of people are on board with us, and then there's a few guys that
sorry.
don't. And that's okay. We love
We're
that.
not for
Absolutely.
everybody. So.
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, everybody's got their own opinions, and we already know what those are because we
Check your
talked about
heart.
them last week. But yeah. Whoops.
Oh, hey. Well, I was going to start talking about buttholes again, man.
Hey. You gotta do that in the deep voice. Do the deep one.
Okay. Have I got a deep one?
Like,
Oh,
Whoa,
wow.
hey, Jeff. God dang, bro.
Wow, you just really, wow. You thought Chris was the only one in the chat, didn't you?
Hey.
Paul said butthole nation.
I'm feeling a lot like that.
Ah, jeez. All right. So, hopefully, anyways, what I was going to say. I look forward to going back and getting caught up with the chat room because, we don't expect everybody to agree with us.
No.
We certainly don't. And just, as I always say, you just want to keep the freaking conversation civil. And you know what? Debate, as Uncle Mosh always said, debate is the highest form of education. And, maybe we can learn something from somebody that has an alternate opinion. And I look forward to getting caught up with that and appreciate you, Raider Nation. Listen, I've always said this too, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to shut up and move on to the next thing.
okay.
The most important thing about fandom and what we feel is emotion. I don't care how long you've been a fan of a team. I don't care how much gear you wear or don't wear, how many games you've been to. None of that stuff matters. What defines a good fan to me is the degree of emotion in which you passionately root for your team. Okay? If your player is Derek and that's your guy and that's your fandom, I can respect it. Now, our fandoms don't align because this is where my fandom is.
Yep.
Right.
But if your fandom is in 4, fine. Knock yourself out. But that's not where mine and ours is.
Right.
So we're just not going to align on that thing. So for the 20% of you or however many there are, it's just not going to line up, and that's okay. You go on about your merry way and root
Thanks
for the Colts.
the 9
next.
years where we had something in common.
There you go. And now you go root for the Colts next year.
There you
go. Knock yourself out. Have fun with that. I'm going to stay in silver and black.
right.
Because the only thing, and I said I was going to say one more thing. I'm going to say one more thing. The only thing that will ever stop me from being a Raider fan is if the Raiders stop being the Raiders.
That's right.
If they turn into the Las Vegas Renegades and their colors are green and orange, guess what? I'm not a fan of that team anymore.
That's right.
I will always be a Raider fan. So if the Raiders stop being the Raiders, I'm out. But outside of that, I'm a fan of the damn team. All right, next up. So we got a fresh start.
Yeah.
We're moving in a new direction. I believe it was our buddy Graphic Raider put out this week. He said,
he was in there too.
Oh, was
Yeah, I
Graph
did
in
see
there?
him.
Yeah, well, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see
What's
him.
up, Graph, if you end up hearing this? And appreciate you, man, and all the support you give this show. He said, let's talk about it for 24 hours, and then we're going to dead the issue. We all kind of had our event session.
Yeah.
We started it last week. We finished it today. Now it's Jarrett Stidham time.
Yeah.
It's a new era.
Stiddy.
It's time for
Stiddy,
Stiddy.
baby.
The legend of Stiddy has been born, and
He needs to have a dance. You know, everyone's doing
the gritty.
Everyone's doing the gritty. Now we need to do the
We need a
stiddy.
stiddy?
Yeah.
What you got, Jeff?
Maybe
Well,
make something
maybe
up.
that
Let's
move
see
you
it.
pulled it freaking
Oh yeah,
at the tailgate.
TikTok,
Oh,
yeah.
that's the pancake, bro.
That is the pancake.
Oh, is that already a
So
thing?
he's gonna
Yeah. So the
just
stiddy,
alter it a little.
so the stiddy, they do all this stuff. So maybe he's like
Maybe.
the threes.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, okay. I see that.
Okay,
We'll workshop it.
Sorry,
We'll
sorry,
workshop
I didn't
Let's think
impress
about
you.
that. We'll think about that off. You know,
Yeah.
we're not
Jeez,
on.
Pete.
Yeah, that was a little.
You should have seen my best friend look at me with such disappointment right
Wow.
there.
Yeah.
You got the crickets button over there?
Hurt.
Oh my god.
It hurt me, and you weren't even looking at me. I felt I was disappointed. I disappointed you, and I didn't even do anything.
That was.
Thought you'd be more proud of your best friend.
I'm proud of you. That
Except for that moment.
dance idea was horrid, but yeah, we'll workshop it. We can't all be winners. It's okay.
Play the freaking next audio clip.
All right, let's check in with Jared Stidham talking about his
Jackass.
first start.
Any nerves? Just how did it feel to make your first start?
You know, I didn't feel like I had, you know, really any nerves at all this week. You know, perspective has changed a lot over the years, and it's not worth stressing over and getting, you know, all uptight. So I just want to go out there and play free today, and you know, try and facilitate the offense in a way to win. And you know, we just fell short a little bit.
Jared, I know you were a top recruit coming out of high school, and then obviously you played a lot in college, but you had to wait a while to get your first start in the NFL. Was it a process to sort of maintain your confidence throughout these years where you didn't get that opportunity on game day?
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, the thing about the NFL is everybody's a good player, and everybody was probably the best player on their high school team growing up, and probably one of the best players on their college team, you know, through college. So, you know, my thing has always just been to work hard. I don't know anything else. I don't know how to do anything other than, you know, the hard way. So I've just tried to continue to stay grounded in who I am as a person and as a player, and you know, just be ready whenever my number was called. So whether that's, you know, rookie year, second year, third year, or now fourth year. So yeah.
All right, there he is. So, you know, nothing overly revealing there, but love the confidence going into the game. And it clearly showed up, Michelle. And like when there's been some commentators and stuff that had said things about like, you know, or even fans too, about like, well, the Raiders still blew a double-digit lead. They still lost. The result was the same. We don't know what you guys are so excited about. I don't know how, even if not being a film person or anything, I don't know how you couldn't watch that game versus the other games this year and not realize that optically there was something different going on. Like, so I think it's okay for us to be encouraged by that, or to, you know, to have pride in how it unfolded or whatever. Right? Like, it's crazy to me that people would be like, well, the result's the same, so it all sucks.
Yeah, sure. I mean, because, so we changed one position and a couple of defensive players. There were people out, like, right. So, I mean, there were some
Chandler's
things,
out.
Yeah.
Perryman's out. Yeah.
But, like, I'm watching the game, and it just feels like there's hope in this game. And I think because when I would watch, and God, I'm not shitting on Carr. Like, I really believed in him. I really thought he was the guy. But, like, watching him play, there were things we knew would happen if he was put in certain situations.
Like the red zone?
Like the red zone, like throwing the ball away, like maybe just kind of collapsing in the pocket. Not like I said, I'm not shitting on him, but like, and we talked about this last week, like wanting to see Derek roll out of the pocket and make the desperation to make a play. Mm-hmm. Like we saw a desperation to make a play, and he just looked so comfortable and so solid in what he was doing. Even if it looked like he was doing something that was off the first target, he just it just felt different. It just felt different.
It felt different. It looked like, Jeff, to me, like one of the things that stood out to me immediately. And again, we've now gone back and we've got the luxury of looking at film and the all-22, and we see what he saw downfield and but it was in the game. There was a toughness about this guy, and it's hard to not talk about Derek in some sort of comparison, But this is not like
but it's recency. You can
but it's
compare.
recency. You gotta. It's the only reference point we have for 9 freaking years, other than Connor Cook and Matt McGloin.
Right.
So there was a toughness in the pocket. There was a willingness to take a hit. There was and they called it out in the broadcast numerous times, showing his vision. And as much as we don't love Mark Sanchez, showing him working through his progressions, going through his reads, delivering the ball to a spot on the time in which it was intended. There was a lot of things that looked different. And so for anybody to say, well, the result was the same, so none of it matters. I'm sorry. I cry bullshit on that because if it looked different, it felt different, as Michelle said, right?
Did it also? Oh, sorry.
No, please
Did
go
it
ahead,
also
Michelle.
feel like that the other players were playing with another level of something different? It felt like there was that everybody had raised their level of expectation.
There was an intensity or something going on different.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. And, and that could also be just the fact that, whenever there's a big change, something happens, the team, of course, wants to rally around that other guy. Yeah. So I totally get that. But, people call Stidham a system quarterback. Well, what a freaking concept. We get a guy that fully understands the system. So maybe Josh McDaniels is an offensive genius when he has a guy that knows how to work that offensive scheme. You know what I mean? But and I will say this, and I may get hate for this, but I'm sorry, we lose 42-17 if Derek's playing. I'm telling you, man, you look at some of those plays and you look at some of the ways that he was able to not only move out of the pocket, but then reestablish the pocket. I'm telling you, that video that Sonny sent us a few days ago, breaking stuff down and actually understanding what that means to reset the pocket and all that kind of stuff, and going through your progressions and being patient.
Shout out the QB school, man.
Shout out QB school for sure. But it was, and Juan in there says that it was very revealing. And it really was, because you really, just kind of, casual fans like we are, call ourselves, mega fans, whatever, but we only understand so much about football, where a guy like that can really break stuff down for you and really make you understand it in a different way. But just being patient with the ball. Stidham was so patient all night long. So, you look at a play. So Derek throws an interception during the Pittsburgh game that he was intended for Foster Moreau. So he zips it in there way too quick.
Right as Foster's coming out of his breath.
The same play was called, and Stidham waited for the right time to throw it in there. And then the second touchdown to Devante, the one that one of the ones that everyone's talking about, where he's rolled outside the pocket. He's all the way on the left sideline. And he's standing there and waiting for Devante to get open. And he chucks it down to Devante and takes one under the chin.
Man, he does.
I mean, maybe one of the hardest hits that I've seen.
And bloodies his damn mouth.
Bloodies his mouth. And Devante says during a thing, he goes, he walked up to me afterwards with a big smile on his face and blood was between his teeth. Yeah. That dude got freaking rocked. And I'm sorry, Derek isn't taking that hit. He's, doing the thing that maybe Joey Bosa said that he does. Where maybe he curls up a little bit and he doesn't want to take that hit. And I get it. He broke his leg and he doesn't want to get hurt again. And he's
his back and a bunch of other shit.
Protecting his body and all that stuff. I get it. But being a quarterback in this league, you kind of got to be able to
put your body
body on the line, man. They protect the quarterback, but you're going to take shots. You're going to take hits.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Sure.
And this really is my complete ignorance. A lot of people are saying that there was no tape on him. Does the preseason games don't count for tape? Is it because they're not calling the same plays?
I'd say it counts. It counts, but at the same time, it's all backup people and stuff like that. So you're not really getting a good.
You're not going ones on ones.
You're not going ones on ones and stuff like that. But he ran it. I mean, we were 4-0 in the preseason. Right. And a lot of that was because of the play that he was doing, and he was hitting the right people and stuff like that. So. I don't know, man. I think, if you have a guy that knows how to work a system, and I'm sorry, Derek Carr is an NFL quarterback, and 15 games or whatever is long enough to learn a system, more than that, more than the system, all that stuff, I think it comes down to basic quarterback play and understanding how to go through your reads, how to reset the pocket, how to set your feet before you throw. These weird, run up the middle of the pocket and throw it with your feet all sideways and stuff like that. Like that's high school football stuff. Like, I feel like that should be corrected. Like, freaking step into that throw and get it in there.
Let's keep it about STIDDY, though.
Yeah, well, and he did that.
There you go.
He was
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff. He reset the pocket several times, and he didn't even have to reset the pocket sometimes because he had pressure coming up all here, and all he has to do is step up just a little bit, and he zipped one in there. I mean, and then also, we've talked about a lot, and I'm rambling.
You're good, man. Go for it.
You know, we talked a lot about, you know, a guy like Darren Waller, a guy like Devante Adams, that they're big, tall guys. They know how to get up high and get those 50-50 balls.
Dude,
which
that
was
ball to freaking Devontae in the corner of the end zone.
In the
Let's
corner of the
go,
end zone.
huh, Michelle?
Oh my gosh, that was, listen,
It was
just
unbelievable.
Watching that is like, this dude's a Raider and he's going to be a Raider. Like, knowing that will happen again is so damn exciting. But
Trust
just
in your guys.
Those 2 plays that, the trust that I'm going to put it up there and he's going to toe tap it in, or he's going to, it was like a magician, that one ball that he just like pulled out of the air and land. I don't even know how he did it. Like, I watched the replay a million times. I'm like,
yes,
how did he do that? Like, knowing that he's, that was beautiful.
Well, you know,
that was so freaking beautiful.
So good.
I think it was really nice and it was really refreshing to see a quarterback throw those balls up and just give your playmakers an opportunity to make plays.
Right. Yeah.
That's all it boils down to. You know, you see a guy that maybe he's open, maybe he's not. A couple of those ones to Darren and a couple of those ones to Devontae, they were blanketed.
Yeah.
The coverage was outstanding, and he trusted his guys and just said, okay, go get it. And they did.
Yeah.
And they got it. I mean, the pass to Waller, like in the first quarter or whatever, he jumps up and high points the ball, which is what Darren should be doing all the time. And Devontae is notorious for doing that, going and getting those 50-50 balls from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he is.
So come on, man. Like, you know, but this whole concept of, well, Stidham's just, he's been in the system for a long time. You know, he's been following McDaniels around. Good. Good. Don't we want someone like that?
Right.
Guess who else is like that? The greatest quarterback of all time in NFL history, Tom Brady.
Hey,
He's
man.
a system guy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And he has championships. Give me that 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, Stidham he just looked so comfortable.
Totally.
He just really looked comfortable. And I do think that, and like I said, I don't want to like compare, but everybody kind of knew where Derek's ceiling was. Like, this guy, I don't know. Like, I don't know if he'll be here. I don't know what his plan is. But I look at him and I think we could win. We could beat the Chiefs. Like, I feel like, not that I didn't think that with Derek, but like there was such a comfort with the players, with the plays, with the coach, with all the things that like this could be something that could get us to where we want to be. Not the guy that maybe is going to get us there, but he can get us maybe to where we're trying to get to.
Absolutely. One, and that's a great point, too. We don't know where his ceiling is. And I don't know if he's going to be our backup next year. Listen, there's a lot of speculation. You know, again, bringing the system guy. Look, I don't care who the system guy is.
Same.
Jimmy G is probably your freaking hot money. Tom Brady is going to be in the mix. You know, Mac Jones could be in the mix. Heck, Jacoby Brissett could be in the mix. Anybody that's played in this Josh McDaniels system is definitely in play. How many of those guys are going to be starters over Jarrett Stidham? I don't know. I mean, is Jarrett Stidham your bridge guy, and then you draft somebody in the 4th round, like we say Hendon Hooker all the damn time around here? By the way, I watched a Hendon Hooker highlight video. That dude's got a freaking cannon, man.
He's got a cannon, man.
And there are 2 or 3 balls every single game that go deep to Jalen Hyatt, and they're gorgeous.
They're beautiful.
It's like watching Daryl LaMonica, man.
Oh.
Yep.
I mean, just firing that thing a mile downfield on a rope. These aren't no big floatery things or not. Anyways, whatever. I don't want to make this a Hendon Hooker show.
And Hendon Hooker is also on the sidelines during his bowl game on crutches, and Derek is perfectly healthy at that.
All right, whatever. All right. So, all right, we're gonna have to hit the accelerator on some of this stuff, but I do want to highlight something that you said though. Time in the system, yes, it's valuable. That said, when you're a professional NFL quarterback, as I know these offenses are complex. I know Gruden's offense was complex. I know that Josh McDaniels is complex. But guess what? So is the one they run in Tampa Bay.
That's right.
And so is the one they run in frickin' Los Angeles, that Sean McVay, that mad scientist. And while, you know, Derek Carr may not be Tom Brady, Tom Brady won a system, won the first year in that system. but he sure as shit is Matt Stafford. And Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl first year in that system. So I'm not sure that argument holds up as well as maybe it used to, time in the system. But if Jarrett's got that going for him, along with these other things, then we're here to support him, man. And so, anyways, we got to skip ahead a little bit here, but there are plenty out there on what Josh McDaniels had to say about Jarrett Stidham and what Devante Adams had to say. But let's go ahead and jump into the media side of this thing, and let's hear what some of the media had to say coming off this performance. It's one thing for us to have an opinion about this, but let's check in on what they got to say, and let's start off with our good friends at Good Morning Football and hear from Peter Schrager.
Purdy's getting better every single week, and yet he was the second best quarterback on the field yesterday.
Yeah.
Can we take a moment to just go through Jared Stidham's
Please do.
league?
Please
they
do.
benched Derek Carr, and everyone's up in arms. How could you do this? It's not Derek Carr's fault. Everything I've been hearing out of Vegas is that, you know what? Stidham's been playing really good in practice. Stidham has been the guy all season that's just been quiet and like holding the clipboard. And I think Josh McDaniels wanted to see what they had in Stidham, and now you get him in. And the Derek Carr conversation was like over the second Stidham started playing. It was like, this is the Raiders, what they could have been with all these offensive weapons. And I'm not trying to insult Derek Carr here. He's had some big games too, but for Stidham to come in off the bench amidst what was a crazy week after a quarterback for 9 years was the face of the franchise, and Stidham's just basically like thrown into the mix and then lights up the #1 defense in the league.
500 yards?
500 yards.
Like crazy.
Like, hats off to Jarrett Stidham. And I'm going to give a rare compliment in the sports media world to Josh McDaniels, to just saying, you know what, I'll take the bullets. Like, I want to see Stidham out on the field this week, and we're going to show what we've got here in Jarrett Stidham. Stidham was McDaniels' guy up in New England, brings him over in a trade. And, hey, they're playing the Chiefs next week. Like, if I'm Kansas City, they need that game for home field advantage and all that stuff. Like, that's the last thing you wanted to see was Stidham just lighting him up. This is not going to be a cakewalk next week.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that none of us mentioned. This was the #1 defense in the
Let's
league.
go. Yes.
You know,
Great
so
point.
and I think also he's just playing with that what do I have to lose kind of thing. But yeah, I think that's a huge point is he made incredible things happen against the #1 defense in the league. I mean, nobody thought the Raiders had a freaking chance, a snowball's chance in hell. They thought we were going to even come close to even winning the game. Obviously was a pipe dream, but even coming close to overtime,
I was thinking it was going to be a 40-point blowout. That's what I was expecting.
That's exactly what and everybody was thinking that. So, God, you have to give props to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, there's only 2 quarterbacks in the league this year that have thrown for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns against the San Francisco 49ers. And that's Patrick Mahomes and Jarrett Stidham.
How about that?
Those are your guys.
How about that?
Those are your guys, man.
Yeah. Old Stiddy, man. All right,
You know?
so here, I got a question for you guys and for the chat room, and I want to know what you're thinking. So there's been some great nicknames that have flown out of this thing this week. So I told you we should start saying he is him around here a little more often.
Right, yeah.
So Stid him, Mo Moten dropped that one.
Yeah,
So
he did.
Stid
That's
him
good.
is a great one. Stud Ham is a great one I heard. And then of course there's Stiddy. So which one is your favorite out of the
I'm
three?
Team Stiddy, man.
I like Stidham. I just
You
think
like
that's
Stidham?
good. Yeah,
It is good. It's very good.
Yeah. I
I
like
don't care what the hell we call him as long as we win.
That's all that matters.
Right? I want to call him a winning starting quarterback. That's what we want to call him.
That's right.
All right. So, as we finish celebrating Stid him around here, let's go ahead and listen. I probably should have done these earlier in the night. Let me just do this one, and then we'll tap out. We'll save the Boomer Esiason thing. Boomer Esiason basically was talking about Derek Carr's next steps. Because New York has been a speculative place about where he might go to play.
Too cold.
It's too cold, and I've said immediately, like, if he thinks Raider fan is bad, you'll get eaten alive in New York media.
Yeah.
And basically that's what Boomer had to say, and that, like, they're not interested in having him in New York. So we'll skip through that. But I do want to click into this. I'm not even going to comment about it. We've already said our piece on Derek Carr. But let's play this clip from Kyle Brandt in Kyle Brandt's basement. And then, Jeff, take us to break after, and then we're going to get into I can't talk. Murph fundamentals.
We never win with this guy. I don't care if it's his fault. He is the most highly paid player. He's the face of the organization, and we need to change. Just think about what they're competing with. It's a really incredible legacy. 9 years with 0 playoff wins, only 1 appearance. Look at the guys in the AFC. Mahomes in his 2nd year moving the world. Joe Burrow in his 2nd year going to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen's played in a bunch of playoff games. Lamar has. Deshaun Watson has. You could just keep going. Herbert is now joining the playoff field. He's getting experience. And it wasn't just that Derek Carr was in one playoff game in 9 years, is that it took until his 8th year to even get to that playoff game. And what happened in that playoff game? Well, they're driving down the field against the eventual AFC champions, and he throws a bad interception right at the goal line, and they lose it. That's Derek Carr. That's him. It's a tough legacy to put a finger on, because there's a whole wave of apologists, and they say, he's really good, and he's never had a good defense, and they make terrible draft picks, and they do terrible things in a dysfunctional organization. I don't think any of that is wrong. I think that's all true, but I just don't care. It's not a reason to try it again and again and again. Maybe we'll get to 12 and 13 years and we'll still be saying Derek Carr doesn't have the right surrounding pieces or doesn't have the right situation. Come on.
Jeez.
Oh, that's good.
Flamethrower.
Yeah. Hi.
This is AJ Cole from the Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Just win, baby.
Patrick Claybon with NFL Network here. Hey folks, I know 3 things you might like. Do you like football? Do you like the Las Vegas Raiders? Do you like listening to things? I'll add a 4th. Do you like swag?
Yes.
Well, here we got Swag Jeff, Murph, Uncle Mosh. This is Raiders Fan Radio.
All right, there's been so much talk about the ramifications of this benching and the departure of Derek Carr and what that's going to mean for the players that remain on the roster. And there's been a lot of speculation around what players may or may not want to be part of the Raiders going forward, namely Devante Adams and you know, whether he would request a trade and all that. Of course, we've already heard that debunked by Devante himself. But just in case you need some more information or evidence around why those things will never, ever happen, let's go ahead and jump into a segment we call Merfundamentals.
Hello, boys and girls. Thanks for joining me here today as your old Uncle Mosh takes us to class. Most of you have heard the phrases Hail Mary, shotgun, or onside kick, but have you ever wondered what the heck a Mike, Sam, or Will linebacker did? Do the phrases run and shoot, bull rush, and nickel dime packages make you want to go pooch punt the Wildcat? Well, you're in luck. My little nephew Murph has a new flea flicker of a segment called Merfundamentals, where I ask him a question and he tries to teach this old dog some new tricks.
All right, so I think that most football fans, and you can be the most knowledgeable film guy or historian or many, many angles, you can be an amazing football fan and well-read on so many different things. But I think a lot of football fans are ill-informed about the dollars and cents of the NFL.
Sure.
And one of those big things is the salary cap. And what drives decision-making, just like we said earlier in the show, not only with people personally, but with organizations, you want the answer to the question, find me the money, and that's the answer to the question. So when you hear emotional takes from fans, or in this case, media, which we've seen numerous times this week, where they say, Devante Adams' best friend has been sent away. He's not going to want to play anymore. Darren Waller's not going to want to play anymore. Hunter Renfro's not going to want to play anymore. This idea that the players would demand trades or force the team to move on from them is ill-informed. The only one that would have any kind of weight in this conversation would be Josh Jacobs, because he's truly an unrestricted free agent after the season's over, because the Raiders didn't pick up his 5th-year option. The reason that these players can't move on is that there's a thing in the league called dead money, or dead cap, okay, as the kids say. So the dead cap is basically what dollars are guaranteed on a player's contract and how that impacts the salary cap. Now, I'm going to read you the definition of it, and then I'm going to go off the dome for the rest of it. Dead money is a salary cap charge for a player who is no longer on a team's roster. It exists because of how salary cap accounting rules operate. Signing bonuses, option bonuses, and certain roster bonuses are prorated or spread out evenly over the life of a contract for a maximum of 5 years. That's how you get a contract like frickin' Patrick Mahomes for a $500 million. You're spreading this thing out over a long period of time. Well, dead money incurs when you stop the contract. So you trade them or you release them or whatever. Okay? There are two major exceptions. Actually, let me back up. When a player is released, traded, or retires, the remaining proration of these salary components immediately accelerate onto the team's current salary cap. Okay? There are two major exceptions to this general rule of proration. Only the current year's proration counts towards the cap when released. And if you're traded or retiring after June 1st, the bonus proration in the future contract is delayed until the following league year, which means early to mid-March. Anyways, so point being, though, is that it will extend out over a 2-year period, okay? So if the Raiders want to move on from Derek Carr and they by chance get an opportunity to trade him, okay, they're going to trade him, well, of course they would, before June 1st, but because that's when the money makes the most sense. Now, the way that Derek Carr's contract is structured, he's going to get traded 3 days after the Super Bowl because that's when all of his money starts kicking in. So the Raiders are going to avoid that. But to make it more relevant to the players that would potentially leave, no one is going to go anywhere because of these dead cap numbers. Devante Adams' cap number next season is $31 million. So if the Raiders decided to move on from Devante in a trade or whatever else, they're going to have to not only pay him his whatever guaranteed money that they owe him, but then that dead cap number kicks in. So what does that mean? Well, so if the salary cap is $220 million next year, okay? His dead cap number is $31 million. That means the Raiders' salary cap room is reduced to $190 million.
Right.
Make sense? Okay? When you look at his cap number for 2024, it's $23 million in dead money. In 2025, it's $15 million in dead money. The reason that the Raiders can move on from Derek now is his dead money is only $5 million. So it's only going to reduce their cap amount $5 million, which is not a huge cap deduction on a $220 million cap.
Sure.
So the people that say like, oh, well, they can save this much money by letting this player go. The savings get negated because, yeah, you may not have to pay this guy $7 million, but if his dead cap number is $20 million, that's $20 million off the cap that you can spend. So you're at a percentage deficit versus the other teams in the league to finalize your roster. All right. So Devante Adams is the highest in 2023, but Chandler Jones is never going to go anywhere. Oof. He's got a $25 million cap hit in 2023. Colton Miller has a $24 million, then I say keep saying cap hit, dead cap hit. So regardless of whether he's on the team or not, that's why they call it dead cap. So $24 million. Max Crosby, $20 million. Hunter Renfrow, $11 million. Darren Waller, $9 million. And then down to finally Derek Carr at $5 million. You round out the rest of the top 10 is Bilal Nichols with 3, Daniel Carlson with 2, and Andre James with another 2 himself. Those players will never freaking move. The top 5 of that list aren't going anywhere.
Right.
Take your goddamn emotions out of it, Raider Nation, and quit with this nonsense. It doesn't make sense to the money. When I say it's financial suicide, that's what I'm talking about. The team cannot afford to move on unless something disastrous happens or unless there's an absolute monstrous offer made. That they gave up so much draft capital to get Devante Adams in the building to begin with. You'd have to, number one, return that plus more to get out of this idea that we would be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. So stop it with this conversation on social media and otherwise that players would, one, demand an out. Okay, fine. Go sit at the house and make 0. Okay? Right. And the Raiders aren't going to move on from them because they're contractually bound to that dead cap number. So it's it's mental masturbation. Yeah. Stop talking about it. It's never going to happen. And the last thing I'll tell you is this. And if you want evidence to why teams don't do this stuff, Guess who's on our books in 2023 for $10 million in dead cap money? Corey Littleton.
I knew you were going to go.
Corey Littleton in 2024 is on the books for $4 million in dead cap money.
Dang.
And in 2025, he's on the books for $2 million in dead cap money. That's what happens when you give a big contract to a player and then you move on from them. Now, I'm not questioning the Raiders on why they moved on from Littleton because clearly he wasn't performing, but that's the kind of devastation that happens when you do that.
Yeah.
So you can't start stacking that stuff up. And the last thing I'll say is this, and then let's get to the Sea of Fan Swaggo. I know Madden is not football. I know playing Madden football online.
The video game.
The video game.
Right,
No, I'm
right.
sorry. No, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
No, John Madden is football. I'm talking about Madden the video game. Madden the video game is not real life. And you're not going to learn a lot about play calling and whatnot by playing damn Madden. But I will tell you this. Anybody that has ever played a franchise mode in Madden, you will learn all you need to learn about the salary cap.
Totally.
Go ahead and run through 3, 4, 5 seasons playing Madden on franchise mode, and it will teach you I didn't learn all this stuff because I read it. I learned this because I'm a nerd-ass gamer that's played Madden for my whole damn life. This is and these are the kind of things that you have to, that game will actually teach you that are one-to-one from the game to real life. You're managing numbers, and managing numbers is what our games, right? Like there's no variance there. So you can really learn a lot about how the cap works. So anyways, I would encourage you to check that out. And for anybody that's having those conversations, those silly, silly conversations about players moving on, ain't nobody going nowhere.
There he is, fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's tied, he throws. It is.
Hey, Jeff, you intro the Sea of Fans. I just got done talking for 94 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, hey,
Ain't nobody want to hear this voice anymore.
Absolutely. So you can reach out to us a multitude of ways. So more of us and more of you and less of us is a good thing. So you can reach out to us on email at show. That is SHOW.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, will you write that down?
Yeah, hold on. I got it. I got my.
That's S as in.
Wait, hold on.
That's S as in Stidham.
Okay.
H as in him.
Okay.
O as in. Oh wow, Stidham did really good. And W as in. Wow. Stidham's really good. At RaidersFanRadio.com. Or you can call us at 909-345-3346. That's
909-345-3346.
So you can do each one of those things. And so if you email us an undefined amount of times, or you call us 3 times, you become a made man or a made woman.
We got a new made man tonight.
We do.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go, man. So each and every week we start with the emails. And Michelle, who do we have tonight?
We have Hooligan Nation.
Nice.
All right. Buonasera, RFR crew, and Happy New Year from Hooligan Nation to all the RFR family, made men and women. First of all, sending big silver and black hugs to every football fan out there. If nothing else, this Hamlin situation proved once again that you never know how much time you might have on this rock or what might happen next. So take a second today and hug a friend. Let them know you care. You might not get the chance again. Now, on to lighter things. So that's what it feels like to be excited about what could be again. Wow. I know we lost in overtime, but that kid balled out and gave us a chance in a game where, quite frankly, with injuries and the situation we were in, we had no business being in that game. Carr is gone, but that doesn't mean he wasn't one of the greatest Raiders of all time in the way he held himself and the organization up through some rough times. Rooting for Stidham to do well doesn't mean you're being disrespectful to Carr. Sometimes in business, you just have to pull the trigger and know when it's time to try something new. To all fans saying, I hope Carr, sticks it to the organization, I just don't get it. Isn't this your team too? Why does anyone want anything bad to happen to your own team? I hope Carr is able to get placed with a new team that gives him a good opportunity to succeed. I said it last offseason that maybe a new home is what he needs to get him over this hill and on to the next level. In the meantime, let's go, number 3. This is the only thing I need for Christmas. Beat these damn queefs into the ground.
Yes.
I'm surrounded by these lot lizard lovers and their And they're chromosomally challenged ankle biters. Please, please, please. Just win, baby. I'll leave you with this question. If he plays well again, do we just roll with the horse in the stable next season, spend draft capital on defense and bolstering the O-line, draft a rookie like Hooker or on the cheap and build him up over time? Do we need a journeyman, even if it's just to mentor a young QB? Am I the only one who throws up in my mouth a little every time they talk about Brady being a Raider? What are your thoughts on this?
Okay. So he's asking about what we think about Tom being a Raider.
Thank you, Hooligan Nation.
Great email. Yeah.
But he's asking us a question there.
He did ask us.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, this is going to be, you think I got some hate on Derek Carr comments. Tom didn't make that call. Walt Coleman did. Tom Brady has been vilified. Why? Like, I would ask you that. We know why we hate Patrick Mahomes. I know why I hate Phillip Rivers. I know why I hate John Elway, because they thrashed our asses for many, many years. Yeah. Tom had never done that. Tom wasn't the one that made that call. Like, I don't have the same level of hatred that most of Raider Nation does for Tom Brady, because Tom Brady didn't do anything. I hate Tony Saragusa way more than I hate Tom Brady, because his big ass fell on Rich Gannon, broke his shoulder, and cost us the Super Bowl. That's why I don't like that guy, because it was a cheap shot. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't have that same level of venom for Tom Brady. And listen, man, I'm an Al guy. I'm a Raider guy. And Al said, just win, baby. We talked about it on last week's show. Al was a Charger. Willie Brown was a freaking Bronco. Lyle Alzado was a Bronco. Romanowski was a Colt and the freaking Bronco. Like, there have been, Mike Haynes was a Patriot. There have been numerous Hall of Famers and Raider legends that came from other organizations.
Right.
All I care about is the W. All I care about is the Lombardi. And if Tom Brady is the one to get us there, I don't know. I think that there's maybe some certain poetry that can be involved in that. And I know I'm going to catch all the hate in the world. And that's okay. Because again, you fandom how you fandom, and I'll fandom how I do mine. But it doesn't matter to me. I really don't care. If we can deal with Jerry Rice being a Raider,
right. Totally.
That's a guy that actually punked us. Remember when he set the freaking touchdown record against the Raiders on Monday Night Football? Oof. I don't know if you turned the calendar enough to remember that, Raider Nation, but I do. And he completely punked us. And then he started wearing our uniform, and I had to root for him. Right. So if we can get through that, we can get through damn Tom Brady.
Yeah. I think people hate Tom Brady because he's so damn good. And he wasn't on their team. So, and obviously the tuck rule thing, that's just going to bring a visceral reaction.
Sure.
Because, I mean, it is what it is. But, and I think I said this on the last show, if he can help us get to where we're trying to freaking get, bring in whoever you need to bring in. Get us where we need to get. I mean, if he's that guy, then he's that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, wouldn't that be the ultimate Al Davis signing? Al Davis would just go and get the best players from whatever team in order to win. And, and you see that clear as day with the Jerry Rice signing and stuff like that. He just goes and gets his guys. And they may be like maybe a touch past their prime, but Jerry Rice had some solid years for the Raiders. Yeah. So, I mean, it would be a total Al
And he was
move.
4 years older than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
He was old.
Hey, pretty damn close, dude.
He was
pretty damn close, man.
He's in his 40s, yeah.
Like we've said all night long, man, I'm a fan of the Shield and I'm a fan of the Raiders. So if Tom Brady becomes a Raider, then he'll be my favorite quarterback in the world. And, what poetic justice would it be for him to write the tuck rule game by bringing us our fourth Lombardi, So,
Amen.
Whatever.
All right, we got Silver and Black Mac. Happy New Year. Let's put our 23 jersey or shoes on. The pursuit of greatness continues. Salute RFR, salute nation. Also, while we're at attention, 2 high fives, 2 pounds to the chest, and a real MVP salute to the first responders, medical staff on the field Monday night that saved a man's life in front of 60,000 fans.
Amen.
Speedy recovery to DeMar Hamlin. About the game. This season, we continue to ask for effort, not excuses, from other players. Offense. This QB change proves that. We saw 3 do a lot of things that 4 used to do. The most impressive attribute was running with toughness. Every part of the offense was involved. Only is we should have ran the ball more. Jermaine averages a false start per game. Ooh, that's true. Colton was blocked so hard. Dude knocked him back into week 16. Not sure if we see him Saturday. Hopefully he regains his footing. Good Lord. There's a lot of A's and a lot of W's in that word. Defense. A few plays were aggressive and on point. Most of the plays called were lacking tackling in open space and DB playing off coverage. Frustrating to watch. We need real offseason adjustments. Our defense should want to be the best. Looks like I'm going to lose my annual Washington bet. 100 per win, 50 per loss. Ladies and gentlemen, we had to upgrade the car so we can begin the journey to the Super Bowl in the Death Star. Not going to worry. I know we making that back. Salutations from the Silver and Black Mac. Raiders.
Nice.
Right, that's a good one. Yeah, that was good.
Great. Yes.
All right. All right. Let's see. Okay. This is Frankie Muscata. Muscata?
Yeah.
I should. The Unholy Roller Raider. I should never be this upset about sports and millionaire athletes, but damn, I haven't been this pissed since we had Jay Russell as our quarterback. What pisses me off is not that we had another losing season, but the way we were losing with all of this talent. I certainly believe McTrash planned to have DC fail so that he can grow the numbers of Carr haters. This season has been a FKN embarrassment and has left me disgusted with Mark Davis. We all were finally feeling great after making the playoffs last year. The way we did it, through all the shit that happened, and we still made the playoffs with the first-time interim head coach. We are and still are a few good players away from being a mid-seed playoff team. But McTrash kept on purposely setting up our team, not his FKN team, for failure. I honestly don't believe the team trusts McTrash anymore. So JJ will definitely be the first to sign elsewhere, leaving behind big shoes to fill at running back because Zamir White will never live up to JJ, leaving us to be a pass-first team, most likely, making McTrash play calling even more predictable. I'm not a Carr fan nor a Carr hater, but we've all seen him fuck up. Oh, sorry. We're doing so good.
I know, you're doing so good.
Well, he spelled it out this time, so my brain, I was like Ron Burgundy. If it's on there, I'm reading it. But we've all seen him up and kick. Regardless of his talent, I love that he genuinely loves being a Raider, and he's won us so many games with trash-ass rosters and coaches. This is a coup to overthrow this man's dream.
I need to be quicker on the button.
I
got it now.
This man's dream of winning a Super Bowl with the Raiders. Davis and McTrash are crucifying this man's love for this team. He doesn't deserve this. It just makes me sick seeing former Patriots infiltrating and ruining our team, our Raiders. And Davis is probably in on it too. If not, it definitely has some NFL versus Raiders conspiracy feel to it. Happy Silver and Black holidays from Frankie Muscata, the Unholy Roller Raider.
Hey, Frankie. Appreciate you, Frankie.
That's good.
We're going to hear from Frankie later, too. He calls into the show. Yeah.
He had a lot to say.
Lot to say.
All right, this is Tida. Yo!
Hey.
What's up, Murph Swaggy and Michelle Sweat? I hope all is well and everyone is safe and in good health. As I sit in my living room and drink the last Capri Sun, I can't help but think about the state of Raider Nation. My son thinks my daughter drank the last one, and daughter thinks my son drank the last one. My wife knows I did, but she thinks it's funny watching them go back and forth about it. At the end of the day, nobody will care when I buy another box. Now, I don't like how people are downplaying Stidham's game just because you loved Carr. Yes, he had 2 interceptions, but those aren't the same interceptions we have been seeing all year. One was tipped by a lineman, and the other was with Miller on his lap, not bad placement or over or underthrown. He looked comfortable in the pocket and played with more heart. Now, I'm not saying Stidham is the next Montana or Peyton, just saying he looked manageable. But the Carr brothers losing this PR battle they are in with themselves, I'm starting to lose a lot of respect for them. Remember, I'll rather retire. What happened to that? He coming off as a very selfish person who only had his best interest in mind because he knew no team would want to trade for him if he wasn't committed to them. But did you only say that as leverage for a new contract, or did you really care? Because I watched you say it's a business when it came to everybody else who was traded or cut. Now he's unfollowing the Raiders and removing hashtags because he didn't get his way. David posting pictures of them in their 49er gear and having one-sided takes on NFL Total Access. Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad.
Without taking accountability for your brother's play says it all. In Carr's press conference, go down with the ship like you said you would. He would throw a bad pass and be mad at the receiver isn't jumping 10 feet out of bounds to catch the ball or going full Michael Jordan on Space Jam. Did you notice that the team came out with a different energy and played more as a team now that they don't have to deal with the holier-than-thou attitude? Hopefully the Carr brothers don't dig themselves a hole so bad that Derek will become more of a taboo conversation going forward. Anyway, I don't really do New Year's resolutions. I usually just pick 2 words to focus on. In 2022, it was self-awareness and accountability. 2023 will be progress and opportunity. So I ask you, RFR family, what progress are you willing to make so you will be prepared for the opportunity you want? Anyway, I'm looking forward to the future of the Raiders, and I hope whoever is in this team has success. P.S. Don't be a Skip Bayless.
Oh, nice, Ida.
Respect, dude.
Yeah.
Respect.
About David Carr, posting all that Niner stuff.
Yeah.
And I put a few things out there this week about just like how I just kind of lost respect for that whole, not only I'm losing respect for the Carr family, but, David for sure. And somebody kind of took a run at me and said, like, well, but he played for the Niners. Like, what does he care? Like, what do you care about whether, he doesn't care. He doesn't even know you exist, those kinds of things, which is fine and it's true. Here's what I would ask you, though. That guy and anybody else that is of the opinion that it's okay for David to be taking the runs that he is. Again, I get why he's sticking up for his brother. But why are you okay with somebody shit talking the Raiders?
Yeah.
Why? Explain that to me. Well, because they did Derek Carr. I don't care. It's still the Raiders. Mm-hmm. You have this shit tattooed on your body. You hang it up in your house. You wear it on your back. Why are you okay with anybody shit talking the Raiders? Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to be defensive for them. Because that's, whether we like it or not, there's a lot of our identity that's tied up in this stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? And maybe that's dysfunctional. I don't know. And I'll own it if it's unhealthy. But like for real, like if someone's taking a run at the Raiders, you're kind of taking a run at me.
Right. No.
So
Truth.
it's not okay. Like, I'm not going to be just like, oh, well, I understand. No, I don't. And F you. Like,
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Don't talk about my people.
Yeah.
The Raiders are my people.
Yeah.
The Raiders is like, I mean, besides the Lord and Savior Jesus
That's
Christ
right.
and my wife and my kids, the Raiders are like way up there in the shit that means the most to me.
Up
You know what I
there, yeah.
mean? Like beside, and friends and all that, and you and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and but yeah, I mean, don't talk about my people, man. Like. And who the hell are you? Who the hell are you, David Carr? You have a freaking Super Bowl ring on a technicality because you were, third string quarterback to whoever.
Eli, yeah.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
Good for you. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Got 2 of these for you, dude.
Jeff is on one tonight, Michelle. I
He
love it.
is on one. I do too, but also David, kiss my ass. Because, grow up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it.
Jackass.
I love it. I love it. Love the fire tonight. This is awesome.
Freaking idiot.
Yeah. This is Aaron in New Hampshire.
Oh, I love
is
it.
This
Hey,
this a new email? Or has he written
Aaron
it
in New
before?
Hampshire.
Aaron in New
Aaron
Hampshire?
is new, but I want to call out, much respect, Van City Raider. Let's talk that shit, Murph. You talk shit about our Raiders. You're talking shit about us.
That's right.
Thank you.
It's personal.
That's
yeah.
right.
That's all. Yeah. Plain and simple.
Raider
at the end
Nation,
of the
baby.
day,
You
that's
talk
it.
shit about the nation like you're going to freaking
Exactly. We can talk shit about
Let me
each
see
other.
him. That's right. Yeah.
And it's just like a family, man. If you talk shit about it, we can talk shit. I'll talk shit about you.
Yeah.
But if some
You've been talking shit about me, Jeff?
I do all
He
the time. All the time I do.
But if someone
You
else is, I'm
jackass.
pulling
But
up.
if some other dick says
That's
something
right.
about you, I'm throwing hands,
Yeah.
bro.
Let's go.
That's my dude.
Let's
That's
go.
right. No,
Oh, I love you,
exactly.
Swaggo.
Like in Vegas when that dude said F Raider Nation, I was
Oh,
ready to.
oh,
I was
oh
ready to
my
pop
gosh.
off on
Yeah,
that
we had to
dude.
hold Michelle back almost.
Oh my gosh. That was amazing, by
I
the
would
way.
have took him out. He was. I would have swept the leg. He'd have been gone. I was not scared of him.
That was amazing, though. That dude, the guy walking by, drunker than hell.
He's a Cowboys fan.
We're all hanging out playing slot machines and stuff, and he goes, "What? It was an F Raider Nation, right?
F Raider Nation.
F Raider, and Michelle went, "What?" And was
I said-
charging at him.
Yeah.
Yo, beep.
Oh, wait.
Yep, yeah. And I stepped at him. Yeah.
You went at him.
Did, too.
Yeah. Yeah, you were like Derek Carr in the pocket.
I
You were
was.
moving through the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I was, and I would have fought him. I don't care. I know. If a woman hits somebody, they can hit back. He would not have had a chance. He wouldn't have a chance.
Oh, let's go.
Absolutely.
He
Hey,
wouldn't have.
so BG
Come
Grissom.
at me. Come at me.
Oh, nice. So BG Grissom in the chat says, "Love when you say I root for the Raiders now and then, but spend 45 minutes talking about who knows who back in 42. Come on, guys. Love the show, and I'm a long-time supporter. But she's, hey, thanks for the $9.99 donation there, BG. Yeah, that was the most important thing of what you said, and we appreciate that.
No, okay. I'm gonna make a little bit of a correction here.
Go for it.
BG Grissom.
Go for it.
All right. I say I root for the Raiders that are, not the Raiders that aren't. Not I root for the Raiders of now, not then. I love the Raiders of then. I love the history of this football team, from the legacies we've established, from the amount of equality and diversity, and the amount of championships and the wins and what this organization stands for. Dude, you will never find a bigger fan of that. And those are the Raiders that are. The Raiders that aren't are in 2023 having Derek Carr as their quarterback.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. It's not about not celebrating what has happened and celebrating what Derek or anybody else was in this organization. He is part of what the Raiders that are. What the Raiders that aren't are a team that has him on the team going forward. That's what I'm talking about, BG Grissom. It has nothing to do with then, going back. And listen, you say who knows who back in 42? That's kind of funny. But listen, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And that's where when we get certain fans of other teams that go like, oh, the Raiders haven't run it and since you've been alive or since anybody's been alive, whatever, then you know what? Doesn't mean it didn't happen. They don't stop counting Super Bowls just because they happened before you got your iPhone. Like, sorry, bruh. Like, this stuff, the one in 76 and the one in 81 and the one in freaking 84, I all count just as much as the freaking Rams Super Bowl last year. So save me that freaking nonsense about that the history doesn't count anymore or it's not relevant or whatever, and especially Raider history. There's frankly nothing more valuable to me, Swag Jeff, as a fan than our history, and it only becomes more profound the less we win nowadays.
Well, exactly. Well, and you said it. I mean, we are very aware, and we have nothing but respect for the history of the last 9 years that Derek Carr was the quarterback, and I'm sure that's the shot that we took and stuff like that. But going further on the path, we love wins. We love when our football team wins. And the last 9 years, yes, Derek has had, some great moments and things like that. But guess what? We haven't won. We haven't won. So, for us to be optimistic about the future, whether or not Derek's a part of it or not, we want to win. Plain and simple at the end of the day. And if someone can't get on board with that, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Good. We'll go buy a Derek Carr Colts jersey. Or, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's winning. And of course we're going to be reverent of our of our past. Because we won in the past. You know what I mean? Like you said.
It was kind of fun.
77, 81, and 84. We won. We won. And we haven't won in a while. And that sucks ass. But guess what? We won then. So why not be proud of our past? You know what I mean?
You think Fred Biletnikoff is not going to... There's an award named after the man. He went into the Hall of Fame in 1988.
Yeah.
That was that was before a lot of you were born.
I was born in 88.
There you go. And so does that just stop being relevant?
That was the second best thing that happened in 88. The first was Biletnikoff getting put in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but that stuff doesn't just stop being relevant because it was a long time ago. No. So look, I'm sorry, man. And listen...
And we've hung out with Fred Biletnikoff, and he is hands down, football aside, Raiders aside, all that stuff, that is one of the best men that I've ever met in my entire life. What he stands for, what he does, just his demeanor, the way he carries himself, his, just so kind. And then, he's one of the legends of our favorite team. So, of course, we're going to be reverent of that. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Hey, but thanks for the $9.99 donation.
But seriously, listen.
That's right.
And listen, because that kind of hit a little bit. That kind of hit a little bit of a nerve. You know what I mean? And it's fine. You're fair to have your opinion, but just remember, there's a distinct difference between talking about the Raiders of history and the Raiders that don't and have never existed.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because we're talking about people who got us where we wanted to get. So if you forget that, you're not going to be able to create that now. So you have to remember those people. Like, I mean, it would be ridiculous to not hold them up to where they belong. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But obviously, we're thinking about the future. That's for sure. But you have to think about those guys to create what you want to create now. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Absolutely. Well, we interviewed and for those of you that haven't watched our Bolitnikoff show, you need to go back and do that, because just the legends that we talked to and that, such important people within Raider Nation we got to speak to. We got to speak to Violator. And one of the things that he said was, don't drop your expectation. Like, Raider Nation and the Raiders themselves are to be held to that standard. So settling for anything less than that is unacceptable. Support your team, ride or die, no matter if we're 17-0 or 0-17. Support your Raiders, but don't let go of that expectation. And the expectations of that lie in 1977, 1981, and 1984, because we hoisted a trophy each one of those years.
They set the standard.
They set the standard, so why not? And then take it from me, who was a new Raider fan. I've been a Raider fan since 2019. A majority of my life, I was fans of other teams, other things, whatever, and I finally joined the dark side in 2019, and I am so reverent of those. Like, I have more respect for our past now, because I got to see what it was like to win. And yes, we haven't won recently, and that sucks. And I still love each and every guy that wears the shield and wears silver and black. But like, those are the glory days, and I love those moments. So, even as a new Raider fan,
to hold on to.
Absolutely.
Totally.
BG Grissom, though, they did clarify some things.
Yeah, so much love. Didn't mean to ruffle feathers. Not sure if you guys remember. I'm calling from the 775. Love you guys. Sorry I never called again. I'm phone shy. Appreciate you, BG Grissom.
We get a little.
Oh, man. Hey,
well, we always say, like, the degree in which we will evaluate your fandom is the passion in which you root.
Right,
and so, like, listen, we love
passionated bitches right here.
Well,
that's true.
And last thing, and then we'll go back to Michelle to finish off the emails, because we got Paul to get to.
Yes.
But one of the things that Fred said to us in the interview was, he said, you know what? We painted a lot of lines on the highway a long time ago. And he told the current Raiders, when he was still with the Raiders organization officially, he told them, it's time for you guys to go paint your own lines. That
was so cool
when he said that, right?
It really did.
That really did. And if anything, come on, Raiders, just go paint some damn lines, man. Because while we love all those and we're reverent of all those and we celebrate all those old lines, those are old ass lines now.
Yeah.
It's time to go start painting some new lines.
And wouldn't it be so cool for them to see that too? To see the new Raiders paint some new lines, and they're still here to see it. Like, that would be so cool.
And these guys are getting up there,
They're
man.
getting
Fred's
up
going to
there,
be
yeah.
80 years
That
old.
was probably one of the coolest interviews I've ever been involved in.
You
That
got to
was
sit right
just-
next to
I
him.
got sitting next to him, give him his headphones.
And he wanted
That
to be
was
on
so
with us
cool.
for another 30 minutes.
He sure did. He did say that. Yeah,
He said that
was
to you
so,
on
he
stage,
did. He
right?
said, I would have talked to y'all for another 30 minutes. Like, it was so cool. That was just the coolest thing.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Aaron in New Hampshire, new email. Did
Oh,
you say
yes.
that?
Sorry,
Okay.
Aaron, New
All right.
Hampshire. I was already going on to Paul.
No, we got Aaron
Hi,
in
Aaron.
New Hampshire. Evening Nation. Now that the season is over and we can agree that with our first pick of the draft, we need to pick the best defensive line player available. We're picking about 7th overall, and there appear to be 2 elite level defensive ends and 2 defensive tackles. And with other teams not having the same needs as us, we'll probably be in a good spot to get one of the tackles. Brian Breesy most likely will be the last left available of the 4. Not a bad pick, otherwise we should trade down. Now I'd like to take a moment to thank Derek Carr. You brought us to the playoffs twice and made us relevant again. You are no Kenny Stabler, but your accomplishments are remarkable, all while dealing with a revolving door of coaches. Thank you. Now for the future of the QB position. If Carr is out, which is looking more and more likely, McDaniels will be forced to run to someone he's worked with before. No one available is going to do better than Carr in year 1 of a new system, and despite what Mark said, I doubt he's going to be happy with another year of taking a step back. Stidham did well against the Niners. He had the perfect setup. 4 years with McDaniels. Carr has never seen year 4 in the same system, by the way. More weapons than you can shake a stick at, and they had next to nothing for tape on Stidham, and 0 tape with all these weapons. I'm not sold on him yet, but he is the second best option for McDaniels. I think he's going to beg Jimmy G to come to Vegas in free agency. No, Tom's not coming here, nor do we want him. Tom will retire if he doesn't go to a team ready to win now. That's not this defense. Benching Carr now is a mistake. It should have been done after the Saints' goose egg or not at all. I wish I had more positivity to share, but it's going to be difficult to endure the McDaniels error. Hopefully Ziggy can at least build the defensive roster while McDaniels is sabotaging our offense with his stupidity.
That's funny.
That way, at least the next head coach might walk into a playoff roster despite what our records show under Josh. That's my hope for the future. Oh, and by the way, the Chiefs.
Sorry. I didn't know how long it was going to go for. I know if we had a multi-syllabic one going on there. Let's try that again. Sorry, my bad.
The Chiefs.
There we go.
Hold the line. Hold the line, my fellow Raider fans. This too shall pass. Aaron in New Hampshire.
Hey, New Hampshire. Yeah, because you could say those mother Chiefs.
That would have been my call. That would have been my call. Because, boy, I hate the Chiefs. Okay. Paul? Hey, everybody. Happy New Year to you all. I have to start tonight with best wishes to Damar Hamlin and his family. A dreadful thing to happen to the guy, and I hope he's back on his feet soon. It looked so innocuous at first, but what followed was horrific to see. Fingers crossed for a full recovery. It certainly puts a dose of perspective on things, doesn't it? A lot has happened in the last 7 days, hasn't it? There's never a dull moment at the Raiders, for sure. Since my last email, Derek Carr has left the building. We all have our opinion on Derek and his abilities, or lack of them, but I'd like to thank him for his efforts and loyalty to the Raiders. I wish him well for the future, unless he plays against us, and I hope there's no animosity between the two parties going forward. Just one thing, Derek. Now that your brother has got his initial feelings off his chest, tell him to button it from here on in. Yeah. I can't help feeling that the real reason David is so pissed off is that he's become irrelevant on TV now that he hasn't got the inside track on the Raiders.
Oh.
Although I guess one more Raider hater on a panel would be welcomed by some. Sunday was another roller coaster, and sadly with an all too familiar outcome. It was really disappointing to come away with nothing again, especially against them. It pains me to say it, but they are a really good team. So to go toe-to-toe with them right to the wire was good to see. The attitude was good. There was no sulking after the Carr news, and the tempo we played at was refreshing. We didn't play with the handbrake on, and apart from a couple of plays, Josh McDaniels' play calling seemed to make more sense. Time will tell if that's down to execution or better quarterback play. I suspect it's a little of both. Incidentally, whatever they feed to Christian McCaffrey, can I get some? He's a tough player to stop, and his stamina is off the scale. Stidham was obviously one of the players of the day, and a performance like that, again, on Saturday would be very welcome. But the star for me was Devante Adams. I'm not a religious person, but I'm thinking of getting involved because I'm seeing that guy perform a miracle a week. A quick word to all you so-called Raiders fans that have said they'll support another team now that Carr has gone, or want us to not get trade value because you're having a boo-boo over him. Screw you. Leave with him and don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. You clearly never had the Raiders in your heart and soul from day one anyway, coming out with that garbage. Elsewhere, there's always a lot of talk about MVP awards at this time of year, and so many different names are being mentioned. My personal choice for Coach of the Year is Nathaniel Hackett. I'm so disappointed.
That's funny as shit.
I'm so disappointed in his sacking. He was doing a damn good job in my eyes. Player MVP has to be Russell Wilson. Keep going, Russ. You're doing well. Keep crying and keep failing on a spectacular level, you pathetic fart. And so we come to this Saturday and the twice-yearly attempt to try and stop Travis Kelce.
Oh, jeez.
Patrick Mahomes will stumble around like the fat-assed frog that he is.
It ain't easy being green. Someday you'll find it. The Rainbow Connection. Lovers, dreamers, and me. All of us. Sorry.
And Andrew Reid will look like a confused walrus with whale burger juice on his vest. The big fat fatty. But if we can stop Kelce, we'll beat them. Vegas will be full of traveling families from Missouri. where the mother is the sister and girlfriend rolled into one. and the knuckle-dragging morons with 6 fingers on each hand will descend on the Allegiant Stadium in numbers they can't even count to.
Even with 6 fingers on a hand. Oh, my gosh.
I cannot put into words how much I hate the subhuman filth. Well, I could, but you wouldn't be able to read it out. If Jared Stidham doesn't play another down in the NFL after Saturday, please let him win this game. If you do, Jared, I'll buy a number 3 jersey. I'll campaign for your yellow jacket, and I'll arrange for a ticker tape parade down the strip. I hate the Chiefs. Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi. Pauly Award winner 2019 and 2022. Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020. BRT Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man.
5-time times 2.
Winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award.
Good job, Paul.
Paul, your name Paul?
Paul.
I met him with
Paul. Who? Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul.
Darn right you are. So, hey, are you guys okay with a 3-hour show?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
A 3-hour show. A 3-hour show. We knew this was going to take a long time, but yeah, I mentioned we're off next week. We're normally here on the YouTubes at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio each and every week at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. But we're going to take off next week, and so we're going to get it all in tonight. And we appreciate all the emailers. Those were great. Appreciate the chat room in there. Chat room is going off. Kiljadis is in there. Franklin is in there. Paul is in there. Ray Love is in there. Miss Ebony Graves is in there. Kevin the Raider Nerd is in there. Pineapple's in there. Foxy Scorpio. Lencho. Trinidad. Raider Critique. Ron the Materator holding it down. Tiderator is in there. So many of our Javi California is in there. So many of our good friends. We appreciate you so very, very much and your support of Raiders Fan Radio. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the thumbs up if you like what we're doing. If not, then I get that too.
Then don't. Then do something different.
But I appreciate Ernie Cortez is in there. DJ Lenny Danger is in there. We appreciate you so very, very much. And again, your activity and support of Raiders Fan Radio. All right, so you can email the show. Juan Avalos is in there. Appreciate you, Juan. You can participate in the chat room. You can email the show, or you can call the show at 909-345-3346. And we've got some great voicemails to get to tonight. And the man hitting leadoff tonight, in honor of the great Tony Gwynn, who we know he's a big fan of. Let's go down to San Diego and check in with our good buddy Mojo.
Fellas, Miss Michelle, how's it going? It's your boy Mojo down here in San Diego. Just calling, man. I didn't enjoy the loss this weekend, but I did enjoy watching Stiddy go out there and make it happen. The kid, showed some heart, man. He looked like a good quarterback. He didn't look like a backup to me. I know, we do need a body of work to make any kind of decisions or judgments on him. However, I do want to say this. Some of y'all Raider fans are a little bit crazy, man. I'm all for supporting Derek Carr and respecting him and thanking him for what he did for us. He was, he weathered a lot of storms in the silver and black, man. Mm-hmm. He said some things, he was always going to be with us or he was going to retire. That turned out to be false. Either way, no matter how you feel about him, listen, here pretty soon, the guy's not a Raider anymore, man. We can always appreciate what people have done, their contributions to our team, and he did more than most in the past, 9 years. What I'm saying, man, is, if real life is imitating social media whatsoever, we got a whole lot of quote-unquote Raider fans that just seem a lot more like Derek Carr fans, dude. Now my alarm's going off saying it's time to work out. So until next time, just win, baby. Mojo out.
Hey, there he is, our good buddy Mojo in San Diego. Love it. All right, good stuff there from Mojo. And yeah, there's certainly, as we've talked about a lot tonight, there's certainly been a lot of evidence of that this week. Before we move on, I want to holler out Javi in California.
Yeah.
From the 909, I got family in Pomona. Hell yeah, much love. Go Raiders, man. Much love back to you. And thank you for that $199 donation.
Yeah.
100% of the money that we raise around here with Raiders Fan Radio goes to our nonprofit, which is the One Nation Foundation. And we give all of our money away to Raiders-related charities. So appreciate you, Javi, California, in there for that. All right. When we get to the callers and emailers too, we'd love to have new calls. We love to have new emails.
Totally.
And we've got a couple tonight right here at the top of the show. So first off, we're going to check in with Juan Raider, brand new caller to the show, and appreciate you calling out.
What's going on, Mr. Murph? It's my first time calling. My name's Juan Raider from Fresno, California. I've been a fan since Mikey Murph Mondays.
Oh,
man,
thank
I've been
you.
watching you for a while. For the first take I gotta say straight off, I respect Carr and I respect everything he's done for this organization, and everything he's shown and proved is nothing but heart. But at times you do have to let him walk, and at times he makes the most amazing throws, and at times he makes you cry, and at times he makes you sit on the edge of your seat. But let's be real. There's been calls on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, that it makes you wonder why these guys were even signed as coaches, But at the end of the day, I believe, it was it was 11 degrees when he was playing. He couldn't hold the ball right. He couldn't throw right. And Carr is just notoriously bad when he plays a cold game. And I believe that the way the handling of this situation isn't right, but at the end of the day, you have to see that Raider Nation has to move forward, and moving forward without Carr is going to hurt. But at the end of the day, I think it shouldn't have been right now. It should have been at the end of the year and just let him play. And that's how I feel. And Raider Nation would appreciate the fact that this man has dealt with multiple coaches, multiple coordinators, and multiple defensive coordinators on the other side of the ball, and multiple receivers. Like, you have to see what this man's gone through, and you have to respect it. But at the end of the day, let's go forward. Let's go Raiders.
All right, there we
Nice.
go. Juan Raider. Good stuff there from Juan.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, my man. Yeah, I'll just say this briefly. I think we all wish it could have ended different.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like regardless of how you feel about what moving on or not moving on, we all wish it could have been a little more, I don't know, celebrated or a little cleaner off-season-y kind of thing, but that's not what we got, unfortunately. So, the Raiders did what they had to do for business reasons, but appreciate the call there from from Juan Raider. All right, next up, let's check in to the 424. And caller didn't leave his name, but let's hear what he's got to say.
I don't see why everybody's blaming Carr. Yeah, he had a bad game against the Steelers, but there's so many things that factor into it, and I think he's just being the fall guy. Nobody talks about how many 17-point, 13-point, 10-point leads we blow. Nobody's talking about Patrick Graham, first-time defensive coordinator. It reminds me of Kit Norton Jr. when he was a linebacker coach, and they let him be the defensive coordinator with Jack Del Rio, and we were worst in the league in defense. I mean, come on. It's just simple. It's like on the Rams game, you run a draw on 3rd and 5. It's a mixture of bad play calling from McDaniels and bad defensive calls from Patrick Graham, and all of a sudden they're using Carr as the fall guy. This guy's had 6 different head coaches, 6 different coordinators, and all of a sudden we want to get rid of Carr. These guys come in out of nowhere, all these new coaches, and now all of a sudden it's Carr's fault. Carr's the fall guy, and it's not fair. It's just not fair. He's worked too hard.
All right, we appreciate you, caller in the 424.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't think anybody's going to be celebrating Josh McDaniels' play calling at times. I mean, all it took was a jet sweep on 4th and 1 to convince me that there wasn't improvements that could have been made. But you know what? When we criticize one, it doesn't mean the other one doesn't exist.
That's right.
Like we can have both things going on there. But I will say this, and I think those calls came in before the game, but I would say this, that like play calling, did it magically fix itself? during this game, or did it just look like a little bit different in the results because we had a different guy running the offense, man? Listen, I mean, everybody's got their own opinion, but Josh McDaniels will tell you, and we heard him in press conferences this week, we really didn't change all that much.
Right.
Play calling didn't magically change. So I think that the change they made in personnel had a much, much bigger impact than, quote, the calling of the game. All right, next up, so this guy, he's in the chat room tonight, and he says, I have to apologize in advance for my call. I was so pissed. Hey, man. Brother, we're with you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Listen, you don't ever have to defend an irrational or emotional take around here. There's a reason we do this show on Wednesday.
Right.
I'll just say that, because if we did our shows Sunday night, now I go on with the Silver and Black Today guys, and and those guys are buttoned up and professionals in real life media, so I really try to keep it under control. But if we did Raiders Fan Radio on Sunday at 6:30.
We couldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
We just couldn't.
We just couldn't. It would be a disaster. So anyways, you don't ever have to apologize for your emotion and your passion, Raider critique, and appreciate you calling into the show.
Murph, Mosh, Swaggy, Michelle. How's it going, everybody? I'm the Raider critique, man. I'm right down here in Central Texas. Proud made man and proud member of the Raider Nation. Now, what I've seen and what we all seen in this last week has been absolute fiasco, to say the least, in Tim Brown's words. I know exactly how I feel about it. And I hear all the rumors of the quarterback that's name will not be mentioned. And, of course, Jimmy Garoppolo and Lamar Jackson and all these other scrubs that they're talking about wanting to bring in here to replace DC. With DC being benched, obviously the writing is on the wall for him. This organization, this coaching staff doesn't have enough faith in him to let him continue on, even with the slightest chance that we still have for the playoffs, which, by the way, will end against the 49ers. We get our asses handed to us because Jared Stidham is not a good quarterback, regardless on whether he knows the system or not. I hope Raider Nation enjoyed this season seeing Devante Adams play in the silver and black, because we're probably not going to see him suit up again in the silver and black after this year. I honestly don't see any big-name free agents wanting to come over to the Raiders after seeing what they did to a solid veteran like Derek Carr and having the front office just pretty much implode everything that we have been building since we drafted Derek Carr back in 2014. Now, I know this phone call is going to be cut short. I've probably got about a minute left before it gets shut off here by Google Voice. But I can tell you this, Raider Nation, Tom Brady is not the answer. And if you embrace Tom Brady becoming a Raider, please turn in your Raider card now and get off of our fan base, because no real Raider fan would ever want to see Tom Brady come over to the silver and black, succeeding or not. I'm the Raider critique, where we don't drink the corporate Kool-Aid and we tell the truth with intensity.
All right, there he is, Raider critique.
There's that passion.
There's that passion. I have too many Raider cards to turn in. I can't turn them all in. I got too many.
Yep.
Mine's tattooed on my body, so I can't turn that in. So.
Oh, you got a hoodie on. I was going to say, because Michelle's got the Raider Nation ink. I got it too. Swaggle, you're slacking over there.
What are we doing? Let's go get some tattoos. I'll get another one.
I have a dice right here.
Well, Vegas. That's I mean,
we even got our show freaking logo.
Okay, well, I have more Raider swag than both of you combined.
True. Well, that's debatable.
I was going to say,
you ain't
you really
seen
want
my
to go
closet,
there?
bro. You ain't seen my closet.
Actually, my whole closet is nothing but silver and black. So I think we might.
I got to give Michelle the nod on this one, Swaggo.
Maybe
I love you, but
maybe I should film my closet, because Lamont checks me all the time. Like, you need some more color in your closet. I'm like, For what? I wouldn't wear it if I had more color.
My wife's like, "Where'd you get that shit?" I'm like, no.
No, you just always say, "Oh, I ordered that." Like that's
I've had that.
a long
I
time.
ordered that a while ago.
I've had
Yeah.
that,
We
yeah.
do have the same.
Somebody
We
gave
don't-
that to me.
Yeah.
I just found that.
Yeah, no, yeah. Someone left it on my
It
front
just showed up in the mail.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Somebody left it. Yeah, the postman
The
for
mailman
Raider
said,
Image.
I thought you would like this. I don't know.
I thought you might like this delivery
right.
from Fanatics.
That's
I don't know where it came
It
from.
was a lost package. If we just brought it to your house.
That's right. It was silver and black, so I thought you
That's
needed
right.
it.
I love it, yeah.
That's right. No, I do need a Raider tattoo.
You do.
You
Let's
do
go get
need a Raider
tattoos.
tattoo, for real, for
Let's
real.
go do it. I'll get another Raiders tattoo.
Me too.
Let's go get
For real?
freaking tattoo.
Can we all go
Yeah.
get a matching Raider tattoo?
Dude,
Let's do it.
Milton Chavez is the freaking
That's right.
GOAT
Yeah.
tattoo artist, and
Let's
he's
go-
right
let's
down the
do it.
road.
Let's make it happen. I'll
Okay,
do it. Yeah,
I'll do
for
it.
sure.
Okay. Hey, seriously, don't
No,
back out on
legit.
this. Like, I want to do it.
I would never
Dude,
back out on
back
a
on a
tattoo.
tattoo? Are you kidding? What are you
I'm
talking
like
to, Jeff?
15. I'm not backing. I want to go tomorrow. Like, you just tell me when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Okay.
Let's go.
Deal.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got it. We got
Mark
it.
it down.
All right, here we go. Okay, what are we talking about again?
I don't know. Where
I
were
don't
we?
know.
All right, here we go. Let's check. Oh, I know where we're gonna go. We're gonna check in with our buddy who calls himself the Unholy Roller Raider.
Oh, yeah.
And that is our good friend Frankie Muscata.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Frankie Muscata, the Unholy Roller Raider. Love the show, man. Always. And a couple of days ago, mentioning a very interesting a thing about the winning formula with quarterbacks and on their rookie contracts. So now that got me thinking, man. I was like, after Gannon, I mean, where did our money go? I mean, I don't even remember. I think the only guy we might have paid a shitload to, or maybe it was just the draft picks, was Carson Palmer. But I don't remember anybody else that we brought in with. I mean, maybe Randy Moss. But where did our money go, man? What was it? Where was the money spent? Because we had trash for years.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Love you all, man. Happy New Year. Go Raiders. Hopefully next year is better, but if it's not, then it is what it is.
There's a real Raider fan right there.
You can tell he's a Raiders fan for a minute.
Just win, butthole. That had to be rolling, guys. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Frankie. We thank you, my friend. Man, that's fantastic. That is so funny. So, hey, Michelle, this is really cool. So Frankie's been around our show for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We met him at the draft in 2019, face to face, and of course, he's just been around and been a supporter of Raiders Fan Radio. But that was the third time
Oh, nice.
that Frankie has contacted the show. So Frankie Muscata, congratulations. You are the newest made
Hell
man.
yeah.
Welcome to the table here at Raiders Fan Radio.
Nice.
You are a made man. You showed you are part of the family by participation. By chance, a man like yourself should make enemies, then they would become my enemies. Showing you are a friend of Raiders Fan Radio, you have leapt across the line. Friendship is everything. Friendship is more than talent. It is more than the government. It's almost equal to family. Be loyal. Made man, Raider fan. Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, accept this as a gift. And don't ever forget, words can hurt more, but silence can break hearts.
All right, there he is. Frankie Muscata, congratulations, my man.
Absolutely.
Kill Jada says, welcome to the table, Frankie. Pull up a chair, and while you're at it, pass the garlic bread. All right,
Nice.
good stuff there from Kill Jada. All right, next up, let's check in with our, wow, there's a very SoCal theme going on here.
Hell
With the
yeah.
424 and Juan Raider, and then Frankie Muscata, and then now Animal Mother, who was down there in, he's like west of LA, I believe.
Yeah.
Hey, Animal Mother, calling in from SoCal, from the mountains, up here in the snow.
There you go.
I want to thank STIDDY. Gave us a little bit of hope. You know, hope is nice. But
What's
of
that
course,
feel like?
Of course, is all for naught. It is what it is, man. We're dysfunctional. I don't know, man.
I don't know. It was nice to see a quarterback just throwing the ball down the field and like not being a. So that was good. But
Spoken like
yeah,
a true Marine, man.
hurts. It is what it is, and then now we got to look towards next season. It could always be worse, I guess. We could be, Chargers fans or something fucking lame. All right, love you guys. And mother out.
Nice. We love you too, brother. One of my favorite of the new callers to the show, man.
Totally.
Yeah. Started his calls this year. A couple donations to shout out real quick. Holly, California again in there says, opinion, start Stidham with the next 2 years, then give the bag for Caleb. Caleb with North, I don't know what that is. Deserve a little respect. Oh, Carr deserve. Caleb W? I don't know who Caleb W is. That must be one of the college players that I'm not familiar with. Carr deserves a little respect, man. Give him all his 4 years. Win 9 years with Carr. So he's talking about basically we had a lot of challenges the 9 years before Derek Carr too. No one disputes that. And I forget which one of the callers asked about where all of our money went. Yeah, well, it went to guys named Matt McGloin, Matt Schaub, Matt Flynn. There was, I don't know, Aaron Brooks was in there. We had...
It's Caleb Williams from USC.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. All right.
USC.
Oh, there you go. Okay, Caleb Williams from USC. Because we're more on like the guy from Kentucky, Will Levis, right?
Levis, yeah.
We're Henry Hooker. We're like, I don't know if we're going to draft a quarterback in the first round. I really don't, especially if Stidham continues to perform well. But yeah, there was a certain litany of quarterbacks that came through. But Jamarcus was the big thing. Like, where did the real bag go? It was Jamarcus, because back then, the reason that the NFL has a rookie wage scale is because of Jamarcus Russell. Because back at the time, it cost us $35 million in guaranteed money for a guy that was a total bust and didn't pan out, wasn't on the team anymore. And it literally thwarted the Raiders for 5 years.
Jeez.
It was that was a 6-year destructive pick. So anyways, thank God the rules changed. So now if you whiff on a pick, it doesn't devastate your salary cap in the way that it did. But that's the big thing there. Frankie is who asked that.
Sure.
That was the big contract. That was the one that got us. And yeah, Palmer sucked and all that other stuff hurt us too, Swag Jeff.
Tell us how much he sucked, Swag.
But that one, that Jamarcus contract, that was the one that absolutely put the nail in us for all those years. All right, next up, let's go down to Alabama. And so speaking of LA, let's go to Lower Alabama and check in with our buddy Josh in the 703.
What up, fam? First off, I want to say congratulations there, Stidham. He played pretty well. Defense, not as much. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's a huge indictment on Josh McDaniels. Another 10-point lead lost. The game lost on this dude. I don't know, Patrick Graham to blame or what.
What was Blinker on?
That's
Make turn already.
Make that turn,
that's
bro.
coaching right there. I don't care what no one says. You can't have that many blown leads and not be coaching. Carr's gone. I think, I know it's Raiders over everything, but I'm big on professionalism and loyalty. That man was loyal to this team. I know it's a business, but that was classless of how they let him go. I'm sorry. That was classless. That was unprofessional. The man had given you everything. And they could have let him finish the season out, because it's just 2 games. I mean, we ain't going nowhere. All right. Let him finish it out, sit him down and say, look, man, you weren't good enough. We're moving in a different direction. But at least he would have finished his career. And honestly, I think that he would have retired. If that had happened and he's like, okay, you don't think I played good enough, you're going to let me go, I'm going to retire. And anyone that thinks, oh, he needs to help the Raiders out with a trade, no. Loyalty is a big thing. And if I'm loyal to you and you stab me in the back, don't you be asking me for shit. And that's how he needs to be with this. It's not about helping the Raiders. It's about his future. Because I'm sorry, that's f***ed up the way they did that. I hope we get a rookie. I can support a rookie coming in and seeing how that all goes. I don't know about Edgerton's answer. I'm not going to ride this train because I've seen a quarterback come in and he wows us and we're like, yeah, and then the motherfucker sucks. He had a good game, though, so I'm not going to take that from him, but, it's consistency and all that. But I'll say one thing. Raiders over everything. But they better not bring that douchebag fucking worthless man, Tom Brady.
There it is, Josh in the 703. Hey, a couple super chats also in there. Leo Torres says, can we trade Carr to Washington for their best wide receiver? I guess that's Terry McLaurin. Is who he's talking about? Scary Terry. I mean, I don't know what the contracts look like, so I don't know.
Not.
I mean, sure, would that be a nice exchange for the Raiders? Would Terry McLaurin be a great number 2 to Devante Adams?
Yeah.
Absolutely, but this isn't Madden, so
But
we don't know what the contracts look like.
Everyone, we've all been talking about trades and all that stuff. I just don't think it's going to happen, man. I think at this point, I think they're just going to cut their losses, be done, move forward.
So what does that mean? Someone else has to take the money, like what does that mean if you just cut?
No, his contract will just be up, right?
So Derek's contract starts getting guaranteed 3 days after the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So what happens is that if you're going to agree to a trade,
Right.
okay, the league season doesn't start until I think it's like March 15th or something like that. So that means that you have to agree and trade in principle with a team, but it's a handshake deal. There's not an official thing that can happen until March.
Oh.
So if a team like, I don't know, say the Colts says, okay, we'll take Derek for a third. And this idea that like, we're going to get a first and we're going to get a first and it's like, no, you're not. We're going to be lucky if we get like an offer for like a third.
Right.
Okay. So say they get that kind of an offer. Well, the trade can't happen until after the league year starts, in which case you're already going to have to start taking on all that salary.
Okay.
So if a team backed out, if the Colts backed out, we'd be screwed. So what Jeff is saying, odds are this is going to be a flat release. This is not going to be a trade possibility. So there's a lot of, conversation around trades, but it's going to take it would have to be like something like, I don't know, maybe if we talked about like a New England, and I know you're sick of the freaking Patriots, Raider Nation, and I get you. But there's a relationship and a trust that exists between Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler, and Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And I would think if Bill told them, okay, I'll take Derek for X amount and I'll take him at this time, they could probably trust something like that.
Right.
But are you going to trust the guy from New York? Are you going to I don't even know who the GMs are of those teams.
Right.
Are you going to trust those other teams? Are you going to trust Pete Carroll or whoever in Seattle? I don't know if you can. And because there's so much riding on it, all that financial suicide that I referred to earlier, that's in play. If a team backs out, then we're stuck with them.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get a Niner Jimmy G kind of thing. So it's not going to go that route. It's not going to go that route. All right, one more. There was another super chat there. Leo Torres again. Do we give DC another year with better players? No, brother. He gone.
That's gone.
He
Yeah,
gone.
that ship has sailed.
That ship has sailed. But we appreciate that.
No. I think he's talking about the DC.
Oh.
He's talking about Patrick Graham.
Patrick Graham.
Our DC.
We didn't even talk about his ass. Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's certainly been improvement on the defense and improvement as a result of coaching, but there's been a lot of shit on defense this year, man. It's been bad. But like when you look at, I don't know, there's a whole conversation that we could have around complementary football and like the offense staying on the field more and the defense has been hung out to dry a lot. I think there's probably a little more wiggle room than what we thought early on. Because look, 5 games into this season, I'm on this show going like, get rid of this dude and don't hire anybody else to coach our defense with the initials PG. Like the end. Like that this is enough. But there's been, and when you look at, like, I know we gave up a shit ton of points to the Niners, but we created turnovers. We had a lot of things positive happen against a really good freaking offensive football team in a game where we're depleted of our 2 probably best defensive players.
Yeah.
Then lost Anthony Averett along the way and all this other stuff. So I don't know. There might be some wiggle room in there. Give them another year. I don't know. I
think they will.
I think they will. I don't see him like, because if they didn't already let him go,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless somebody like huge comes on the market that's a defensive coordinator, I don't see him making that big of a move. But that's a great question.
It is a great question, but I'm with you. Like our defense kind of, especially over the last month, like it's looked pretty decent.
Yeah.
And
It's flashed.
and we're depleted
Flashed,
now. It's
yeah.
there's been flashes of greatness. We've seen more turnovers this year than we have probably in the last 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, so you look at that and you go, well, we're depleted. Perryman's out. Now Chandler's out. We've had, Nate Hobbs has been in and out, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
You're
yeah,
down
I
a
say
safety.
I say they give him another shot.
He'll probably end up getting one, I think. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great question. And I don't know if I'd really endorse that. I think if you're asking me what my opinion is, no, I think you move on. I think you find somebody else to coach the defense.
Probably so too.
Yeah, but I've been saying that for a long time. But I kind of get, though, where it might hedge a little bit now at this point. All right, 3 more to get to before we get out of here for the night. Let's go and check in with our buddy Storm.
Hey there, Farker. This is Storm, just calling you with some thoughts about, some small news. I don't know if you've heard of it. The entire Derek Carr saga is coming to an end. And you know what? First of all, first things first, respect to Derek Carr for being our quarterback for 9 years, leading the franchise in just about every quarterback category that you can. Much respect to him. I was glad he was our quarterback. And, I am glad to be moving on. I hate the way this has happened, though, but I have some thoughts on that. So, first of all, I wanted to shout out Michelle for her what she said last week. I thought this was a great comment, that Derek Carr's level of play didn't match his level of loyalty, because I thought that was just so good and described the situation so well. I mean, this sucks for everyone. It sucks for the Raiders who showed loyalty to Carr. It sucks for Carr who is a true Raider and wanted to be a Raider. It sucks for everyone that it didn't go off the way we wanted it to. But, and this is my line of thinking, I think that assuming we didn't win, which, look at the rest of Carr's tenure, assuming we didn't keep winning, I think the longer things would have gone on, the more painful things would have been. Imagine if this was a 35-year-old Derek Carr who couldn't leave, couldn't go out and create another legacy for himself. I don't even want to think about that, the amount of tears of anger that would come from that. I just think that this is what happens when you're loyal to a fault. Loyalty's great, but this is what happens, I really feel like, when you have too much loyalty to a player and to an organization. Those are my simple thoughts on Derek Carr. I feel like most of the stuff about Derek Carr has already been said over the years. It sucks what happened. I'm glad they're ready to move it on. I'm glad Derek Carr gets a chance to reset. That's what I think. Shout out to the Made Men and everybody else. Go Raiders. Go Jared Stidham. We're behind you, especially after that 49ers game. Go Raiders. Here's to the future.
All right, there we go, Storm. Great take, man.
Great call. Great call.
Good call, right?
Yeah,
that was good stuff there. Appreciate Storm. And, man, all the callers tonight have been fantastic. We got 2 more to get to. Let's head up to New Jersey and check in with our good buddy, Rev Raider.
What's going on, Murph? Uncle Mosh, Young Swaggo, Michelle Sweat. This Rev Raider calling from Jersey. Trying to recover my voice back from New Year celebrations and stuff like that. Happy Gregorian New Year to all of you good people. But just want to talk about the game for a minute. Seemed like it was a decent look. We seemed a little bit better on offense at times. I'll say this. As much as it did look good, I say same outcome. Same deficiencies. Now, Stidham brought another spark to the team. When he brought a spark to the team, rightfully so. Dude has experience in the system. He should know the system. Of course, it's a different look, or a different QB, so that's going to bring a little bit of different energy at times. But at the same time, I saw the same drive stifling penalties. Like Illuminor again puts us in the 3rd and 15 doing dumb stuff. Ugh. We kind of slowed down in offense on in the second half. Yeah, we had the big play to Devante Adams, but it still slowed down. We didn't run the ball like we wanted to. The line kind of started to falter a little bit with more pressures and stuff like that. But at the same time, it was the same outcome to me. But still, hopefully optimistic. We'll see, And at the same time, let's show a little respect to our former quarterback. Like, I hear people saying, well, DC wouldn't have did this and DC wouldn't have played this. let's put a little respect on him. Yeah, he had a rough year, but at the same time, let's not use that number one defense thing. They are the number one defense at the time. When we played the Broncos earlier in the season, they were like the number one defense at the time. When we played the Chiefs, they were saying they were the number one defense at the time. And we showed up at that too, one in a win, one in a loss. So you never know any given Sunday or whatever day, you play the game. That's why the games are played. But that's just where I'm at. Let's see where Stidham goes, if he's the guy or not, we'll see. Love you guys as always. Peace.
All right, there he is, Rev Raider. Love you too, man. Great call. That's a fair point, man.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. For everything that we've been talking about in terms of criticism of Derek tonight, I thought that was a very, very fair point there. And appreciate our buddy, Rev Raider. All right, one more to get to. Man, we're all over we started off in a heavy LA concentration, or Southern California at least, and now we're going to go all the way to the other, the most southern point of the U.S., and we're going to check in with our buddy Captain Jack down in Florida. Yarg!
Dad?
Yarg Raider Nation, how you doing? It's Captain Jack talking to all the fans of Raider Fan Radio. And now I don't have to use that scratchy voice anymore because, damn you, what do you want me to make sure I actually have a voice this weekend? It's Chiefs week, which means we got a lot of things going on. I tell you what, a great start for the Raiders in the first portion of the Jarrett Stidham, hey, I can be a quarterback for this team movement. We'll see this weekend when the Chiefs actually get some game film on them. But you know what? All I know is that the new regime is taking hold, and whether you like it or not, the Raiders are going to be turning new leaves. So get on board. If you're a fan of the silver and the black, a fan of the shield, I don't want to hear any shit from you. There you go. Be a fan of the Raiders. And y'all take care. We'll see you this weekend out in Vegas. It's Chiefs week. Scout those motherfuckers.
Let's go. Love it, Captain Jack. Oh, he's the best. He's the best, man. Our good buddy, Captain Jack Rackham. And if you don't follow him on Twitter and all the other stuff and all his other platforms, and definitely check him out. And of course, on the Facebooks and all that kind of stuff. He does a show, and we love Captain Jack. We saw him at the Bolitnikoff dinner just a few weeks ago, and always love it when we hear from him on this show. And Captain Jack, you are now well on your way to becoming the next made man here at Raiders Fan Radio.
Absolutely.
Every time I see him, he's always like, I'm always like doing something when you guys are live, and I'll make sure I'm going to start making calls. And sure enough, here we go. So now we got called. I think that's number 2.
Oh,
yeah,
nice,
that's number 2.
nice.
Well, okay, so I'll say this.
All right, say this.
So he's cut us an ID. He's done the stuff. We got the are ya fuckers? We got all that stuff. So one more time, Captain Jack, you call in and you will be the next made.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Absolutely. Appreciate you, Captain Jack. And also want to give much respect to Miss Ebony Grace.
Yeah.
She says 2023, let's love one another and remember it's just nice to be nice. Happy New Year, Raider Nation. P.S. time for an RFR link up in Nashville.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Miss Ebony.
100%.
Absolutely. We'll do a little meetup this summer or something.
We ought to.
Yeah. We had a damn blast having everybody in town for the Titans game.
So
it was
good.
we were getting turnt, as the kids say here in the fan cave. It was a blast, man. So fun. All right. I'm gonna say one last thing, and then I'm out, and then I get shut me up, and there's so much to talk about.
I know, right?
There was a lot.
In my show notes, I didn't even reference show notes tonight. But there was one thing I wanted to reference because it came up in the chat room earlier too. This last home game was about 60% Niner fans.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Niner fans in the stands. And I get why Raiders fans sell their tickets, and I get you want to make some money back. And look, I don't begrudge you. Team's not playing well. Like, I get all that stuff. But what I will tell you is that it's a little detrimental. Not detrimental. It's a little bit of a deterrent for Raiders fans to buy tickets, though, to the stadium. And I've got the list here. Average home game ticket price for this last season, the Las Vegas Raiders are by far number 1 at an average of $500 a ticket to go to the game. Next closest is the Patriots at $360, then the Bucks at $350, and then the Chiefs at $285. We literally double the Chiefs in terms of cost to go to a Raider game. So I get it. So when you think about the secondary market, if you can sell your tickets for, if you say you face value on them as $300 and you can sell them for $2,000, I get it. I get it why people are doing what they're doing. So, and it's a destination city and coming from a cold weather town. Like, I mean, look at, or not cold weather town like San Francisco is, but like in New England's case or whatever. And we'll see what happens this weekend too with Kansas City. But I don't begrudge those folks, but I will say that it is a little bit of a drag watching a Raider game and seeing a sea of red in the stadium.
It
right?
was so much. Mojo, I remember, I think in the chat last week, he said he only sells his tickets to Raiders fans and doesn't have a hard time finding people to sell them to. I mean, I don't have tickets, so I don't know. But that is, it was so apparent in this game. I mean, you can see it in other games, but man, this one was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was
a lot of red. A lot of red.
Probably the most away fans I've seen all year.
I think so.
And I think probably Saturday's going to be the same thing because, I mean.
Well, and they're playing for a number one seed now. Like now they're playing for something.
Yeah.
And we're playing for what? To hope see Jared Stidham have a good game and we beat the Chiefs. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah. So, and I think I just think it's futile to compare it to Oakland. I don't think you can. Because I know a lot of people lament and say Oakland would never. Well, Oakland can't anymore. So, you kind of have to table that and really hope the team steps their shit up and starts winning games and starts doing things that are more productive. That's the cure-all. Raiders fans will show out when they start seeing some production, and that's the sad reality of the business.
And and when we drove down early in the game, because that crowd was getting loud. And in the last game, the last home game, when we were there when they played the Patriots, we had false starts on offense because of crowd noise and whatever, which is totally embarrassing. And it started to go that same route. And then you drive Then you drive the ball down the field. All of a sudden, all those Niner fans start getting real quiet. You know what I mean? Shut their asses up. And hopefully, if that's the case this weekend, if there's more red and yellow and a bunch of people that look like they just got off shift at McDonald's in the stands, hopefully we'll freaking drive. And no disrespect to those of you at McDonald's, a lot of disrespect to those of you that wear those stupid Chiefs clothes. But if that's the case, then you know what I mean? You got to shut them up early.
Yeah,
drive that ball downfield, put it in the end zone, score in the red zone. And then guess what? They get real quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and don't sell your tickets to our rivals.
Yeah.
Sell them.
But how do you know?
Mojo says he doesn't have a hard time finding Raiders fans to purchase his tickets.
Really?
I don't know what that means for everybody else, but he says he doesn't. He only sells to Raiders fans.
Yeah, well, at least don't sell your tickets on to the Chiefs game, or to a Niner game, or if
that's the thing that I'm wondering,
to the Cardinals game,
right,
or the Texans
yeah.
game,
right,
or something
but
like
not
that.
These bitches like the Chiefs.
No kidding.
Well, Juan Avalos in there says Raiders fans are allowed to purchase tickets as well. Amen. And I think that's the ultimate point.
Yes, that's right.
And that's what Michelle is saying, that when the team wins and Raiders fans want to go to the game, listen, Vegas isn't that far from LA. Vegas isn't that far from the Bay Area. It's a short ass Southwest flight to get to Vegas. And guess what? You spend a few bucks at the crab table and you can stay in hotels for free. You know what I mean? It's not that hard to get to a game in Vegas. So that's a great point. All right, great calls tonight. Great emails. So if you're new around here, we take the best of the best and we award what we call the Sizzler Award to the best email or phone caller of the night. Swag Jeff's got that duty. And Swaggo, who do we got tonight?
Yeah, of course. So we started with some great emails. Hooligan Nation, Silver and Black Mac, Frankie Muscata, Tide Raider, Aaron in New Hampshire, and Paul. Great emails all the way around. We started the voicemails. Normally we started off with Sonny, but Sonny, he was a little late to the
Yeah, we'll get Sonny next week.
Didn't quite hit the buzzer. So instead we started with Mojo. And Mojo great call.
Killed it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Juan Raider called in. It was his first call. He's questioning the coaches in cold weather DC. But Raider Nation must move on from DC. Caller in the 424 says DC's the fall guy. It's all about bad play calling and the defense. Raider Critique called, and he was big mad. Frankie Muscata called, and he was big made.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, you did.
What you did there.
Add an E.
Absolutely. So Josh in the 703, Congratulations, Stiddy. I said the defense was really bad. He was sitting at the longest red light in the history of the world, I think. And he calls out how the DC situation played out. And man, F Tom Brady. Storm called, respect to Carr and his chance to and respects the chance for him to rejuvenate his career. Rev Raider called, said the team seemed better at times. The scheme still needs work. Same outcome every single time, it doesn't matter. And respect to Derek Carr. And Captain Jack says it's Chiefs week, but respect to Stidham. But this week I am gonna give the sizzler to a guy that's he's become a favorite caller on the show, and he just came with an epic call this week. Animal Mother, you are tonight's sizzler.
Nice job, Animal Mother.
Hell yeah.
Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Sizzler.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
Lencho. Perfect timing with the freaking Joker avatar on his chat right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Ho hee ha. We appreciate you. So many of our wonderful friends in the chat room tonight. Lencho is in there. Frankie Muscata is in there. Vegas Raiders Pete is in there. Paul Edgerton. That is, of course, Paul in Shropshire, Mississippi. Title Raider is in there. Part 1975 Raider Critique. Vegas Raider, already said that. Kiljadis is in there. Corey Burham is in there. Juan Avalos is in there. We appreciate all of you. B. Al is in there. He says Murph rap. So I made a deal with Mikey that every time that we would beat the Chiefs, I would rap. I don't think that's relevant at this season, man. I mean, if we had something to play for, then maybe. But
You don't think beating the Chiefs is worth a little rapping?
I don't know. I'd take maybe a different bet. I don't know if I need. I've already done that once,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
And Swaggo and Uncle Mosh wrote my lyrics, which was amazing, by the way.
Well, yeah.
Ghost Riders.
Yeah, bars.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Straight up bars, bro.
I don't know, man.
We'll do something fun.
We'll do something fun. We'll workshop that one.
Yeah.
We'll workshop
There
that
you
one.
go.
We're off next week anyways, so but appreciate you tuning in. And so we're off next week, but check us out the week after. Thank you to all of those of you that are in the chat room tonight. Thank you to everybody that supports us on the audio version of the podcast. Thank you to Just Blog Baby and Fansided for making us the official Raiders podcast of those two entities. Thank you to my co-host tonight. Thank you to Swaggo. Thank you to Michelle. Y'all rock. I love you guys so much. We'll see you not in a couple weeks. We'll see you on Saturday for the Music City Raider Nation watch party, Michelle.
Yeah, Raider Nation, hang in there. Good times. I believe good times are coming. So hang in there with us.
Absolutely. And thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to everyone that donated. I didn't take a tally on it tonight, but I know we made over $100 tonight.
Hey,
so
let's go.
Much respect to each and every one of you. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. This was fun. Whether you love Derek Carr, you hate him, or whatever, it's all about the silver and black,
That's
man.
right.
That's all we
That's
want.
right.
We want the wins on the left to be bigger than the losses on the right. And you know what? We're going to get there. It's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Everybody just take a breath. It's going to be okay. You know what I mean?
Reset.
Yeah. I know one thing we can all agree on this week. F the Chiefs.
Let's go.
We hate you. We hate the Chiefs. And we're going to beat your ass on Saturday night. Let's do it. Hey, thanks everyone for tuning in for another episode of Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey sometimes into the dark side. Don't forget, everybody, what happens in Vegas, it started in Oakland. We love you. Much respect to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. See you. Bye.
See you. Bye.
Good night, YouTube.
Good night. You know, you can go on Fanatics and customize your own Jarrett Stidham jersey. So,
yeah, use our link.
And use the link.
Do it.
RaidersFanRadio.com/gear. Hit the Las
There you
Vegas
go.
Raiders button.
And go to our TeePublic page. New merch dropping soon.
Did you say buttholes?